What's going on, ladies and gentlemen?
Hello,
What's going on,
everybody.
everybody? Good to see you all. Thank y'all so much for being here. My name is Derek Forston. I am the owner and operator of Second Chance Housing. I'm actually wearing my sweater today. I'm always telling you guys to advertise no matter where you go. And I'm also the founder and thought leader of Forston Consultants, where me and my family, we go all over the world showing people how this shared housing concept works, right? So today's topic again, because it did so well last week, 2024's best real estate strategy, guys, and it's the shared housing model. So again, if you're an
Oh,
entrepreneur, if you love real estate, if you love God, if you love people, this is the right room. Mondays are probably my most favorite room out of the 3 days that we do them,
you a
because I
hater.
literally get to talk about the ILF model and how you can run it yourself and hopefully quit your job in 90 days from the day you meet us and watch the webinar. So again, we're super excited. You guys have a lot of choices of where you could be, but you chose to be here, and I'm glad you did. So again, welcome to the live podcast. Don't wait to be great. Where again, this is where we teach people the shared housing model to where you can start your own housing program, not a group home, not per se a transitional living, all of those things that need a license. That's not what we do, because what we do, guys, does not need a license. And I'm also super proud to say, for the first time on a live recording, we literally got back today, this morning, guys, our trademark, our registered trademark for independent living facility. So we've been working on that for probably over
So
about
good.
18 or 19 months.
Yeah.
And we finally got the email that we literally own the words independent living
They
facility,
are
right?
trademarked to
It's
us.
trademarked to us. And we've been talking about it for years and years and years. And no matter who tries to come behind us, on the side of us, we literally got it trademarked now. So if you love God, love people, and love real estate, this is the room for you, because we're going to show you tonight. And I got a brand new PowerPoint to also bring up to show you guys some visuals. I've been getting a lot of feedback that you guys are liking the visuals that we're showing, because it kind of puts the words more so to what we're doing. So again, if you're in Clubhouse and you're joining us there, jump on YouTube over at Forston Consultants, where we're live. You can actually see our faces, and we actually got a PowerPoint. We'll also be putting the link in the chat. So again, we're live on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. So again, thank y'all for being here. And I'm gonna let Miss Shay introduce herself, and we'll get this party started. Go ahead, Miss Shay.
Good evening, everybody. I am Shanye Shea Forston, president and founder of the Angela Denise Foundation, co-founder here at Forston Consultants and VA 101, all things business. And I am excited about the ILF model because I utilize it in my own nonprofit organization. I got lost for words that time, Derek. But what I do is I take women that were once homeless to hopeful, utilizing the ILF model with a nonprofit organization. That's something that I always share my expertise on when we come on these stages and these lives to discuss how I do that, how we make it work, and how we're able to use grant funding and even donations from donors to help provide the housing stipend or the cost, share the cost of our residents' bed fee. So that's what I'm about. I'll be here to talk about and answer questions on, Derek.
Good stuff. Good stuff. So, guys, go ahead and type in the chat where you're tuning in from. Type in the city and state in terms of where you guys are, or where you're going to eventually launch your first independent living facility. I'm going to go ahead and type in Orlando, Florida. I also do business in certain parts of Georgia, and we also do business in certain parts of Ohio. So, again, you never know who you may run into in this room. So, again, go ahead and put in the chat where you're located, city and state, or where you're going to launch your first independent living facility. Tay said that she's over there in Boston, Massachusetts. So good stuff.
Come
Good
on,
stuff.
Boston.
Also Dayton, Ohio checking in. Good stuff. Orlando, Florida checking in. Good stuff. So again, man, welcome y'all. I'm so glad you guys are here. This is going to be a great room tonight. I'm also going to bring up a few guests, meaning family members that we've also taught this game to. But also, if you're new to us today, type in the word new. I met a lot of people today that I invited to join tonight. So I hope that they're going to be a part of this. Two of them were social workers, and one gentleman was a guy I literally met picking up a mattress today. So I got a slide that talks about how do we furnish these places. And I'm gonna talk about how I literally went to Craigslist Marketplace.
Craigslist
Craigslist
Marketplace.
Marketplace. Wow, I'm merging together, didn't I? Facebook Marketplace, and literally found the gentleman that was selling a mattress, right? Gently used. And I'm gonna talk about why we do that. And Paramount, California. Good stuff. Sabrina says, I'm also in Orlando. Good stuff, Miss Sabrina. Sabrina, thank you for being here. We're neighbors. Now, Sabrina, are you completely new to us, or have you been around us before? Go ahead and put that into the chat as well. I love that. And yeah, just going to talk about again today, like how I literally went and got that mattress. I went on Facebook Marketplace, found it, sent a message. The guy hit back in less than 3 minutes. And literally, lucky for me, he was in my area. So I literally drove to him, talked to him about what this was and what I do, bought the mattress, and now hopefully he'll be on this call tonight. His name was, I think, Devin. So big shout out to my guy named Devin. Devin, if you're here, put a thumbs up in the chat. Sabrina, thank you so much for being new to us. We super appreciate it. So, Miss Sabrina, if you ever imagine, right, starting your own housing program, housing the homeless, or the displaced, but you didn't kind of know where to start it, you in the right place tonight, right? And I thank you so much for being here. Mr. Richard, thank you for being here as well, because we show people how to start your own housing program, but not group homes. So you'll find out tonight that we do not call what we do group homes. We call them independent living facilities. And lucky for us, we literally just got it registered as a trademark. So we actually own the phrase now, independent living facility, which means we're able to house adults, not children, not couples, not the boyfriend and girlfriend, not the lady that's pregnant with 3 kids. We house the individual male, Sabrina. We house the individual female, and that's how we do this. So also I noticed that somebody put in the chat, I think that was also Miss Jean. She said that I have all my papers already. Now I'm not sure what papers you're talking about yet, but what we do doesn't require a license, and you don't have to own the property. So that's what blows a lot of people's minds when we talk to them about this concept. You do not need a license, and you do not have to own the property. In fact, every ILF that I have to date, guys, is literally a rental. Now, because of this ILF model, God is blessed to do where we buy property now. But the properties that I buy, I'll admit, that's women and children. That's the married couple. That's the boyfriend and girlfriend. That's the Section 8. But in the ILF model, that's only the individual, Miss Nikki. So we do not own. She said LLC. So perfect. So one of your steps is already done, Miss Sabrina, because one of the first things that I wanted to be known as is not some guy named Derek. I wanted to be respected as a program called Second Chance Housing. So Sabrina, you kind of brought out one of the first points that I'll even kind of talk about tonight. When people say, well, Derek, how do you get this whole thing started? What is this? So I'm going to pretend that everybody's new tonight. Then I'm going to give an overview again of what this is, how you all can get involved in it, and how, again, you don't have to buy the property. We usually rent or lease the property. Now, if you are blessed enough to go out and buy that place, God bless you. But 98% of people that I teach this to, they can't just go out and get a place. They can't go out and rent a house. They can't go out and buy a house. They can't lease one. Well, some people are using this famous word, rental arbitrage, right? So some people can't even do that. So every Saturday, we actually teach people, man, how can you do what we do? And you don't need the real estate. All you need is relationship. So if you missed last Saturday, every room that we do is recorded. But every Saturday, we talk about how to do this, and you don't have to buy the property or rent it. But on Mondays, this is for the people that want to do it. Okay. So again, if you love God, if you love people, and you love real estate, this is the right place, because we don't run group homes, but we run independent living facilities. And the major difference between the two is that, for one, I don't need a license. I don't have to own the property, and I'm only providing housing. That's the cheat code to this whole thing. So if you leave here tonight and you don't remember anything else, remember that the guy Derek told you that this does not require a license, because we're only providing housing. Where people get in trouble at when they try to do this, and where it runs into they need a license, when you're trying to administer medications. Guys, I'm not a nurse, and I don't pretend to be one. When you're trying to drive people around in that industrial 16-passenger van, guys, I don't have the proper insurance to drive people around. My insurance company don't want me doing that, right? And I also don't cook for my clients. So as great as I think that I can fry a piece of chicken, right, and cook a good pot of spaghetti, I don't try to cook for these people, y'all. Because remember what the ILF stands for. ILF, the first I stands for independent. So our clients need to be able to live and thrive, Tay, without the need for staff and or medical oversight. So Sabrina, essentially, I'm housing people that don't need my help taking their meds. They don't need my help to drive them to their outpatient appointment or to Walmart to pick up their prescription. They don't need me to cook their oodles and noodles or their ham sandwich, right? So that's not what I do, guys. I'm a pretty busy guy these days, right? Most of my days are spent teaching and coaching and consulting and running my ILFs. And I'm very busy with 7 other businesses that my wife and I share. So that the clients that we serve, Miss Nikki, they absolutely got to be independent. Because if they're not independent, this is not going to work. So again, thank y'all so much for being here. I'm gonna bring up some slides, and also what we specialize in, guys, is we specialize in answering questions. So if you guys got questions today, I love questions, and I want you to ask all the questions that you have. Hopefully, I answer a lot of stuff that you're already thinking. But if I don't, you say, Derek, what about this? Derek, what about that? Derek, you didn't talk about this. So you remind me, you tell me in terms of what you want to know tonight. But I'm gonna bring up a PowerPoint. This is why a lot of people like kind of what we're doing now on YouTube, because they're actually able to see it. We started this a long time ago on Clubhouse and other settings to where you could only hear me, but now you guys can see me, right? And as I like to say, it's hide the heart, the truth. So again, independent living facilities, when people say, well, Derek, what do they look like? They look like a regular house. So even though I'm using the term facility, guys, it looks like a regular house. So I'm gonna go and get a 3-bed, 2-bath home, a 5-bed, 3-bath home. I may go and get a 1-1. We taught this to a guy in Lake Worth, Florida. He's got a 1-bed, 1-bath. He's housing 2 military veterans that would be homeless on the street without him. Type in the word yes if you want to be a part of something like that. So when I show people big houses like this mansion that I got in Kissimmee, Florida, I always tell people, don't get lost in the sauce and don't think you got to go and get this big old huge mansion, Tay. Tay, you can go and rent a house just like this. This is a 6-bed, 3-bath. At any given point, you all, I could put 15 people in this place because it's so large. But we don't. We actually space this place out to about 9 to 10 people. And remember, guys, the model in which we house the homeless or the displaced, but they all receive a guaranteed income. Somebody thinking right now, Derek, how you doing this, bro? You housing the homeless and you actually make money from this, but they homeless. How is that possible? Even though they're homeless, guys, they receive a guaranteed income. So if you don't know my whole story, in which I want y'all to get familiar with that as well. In fact, Alex, if you can go ahead and put that webinar in the chat. Guys, we got a webinar that'll break down everything that I'm going to talk about tonight in a more structured format. I'm going to just treat y'all like family tonight, and we're going to have a one-on-one conversation. So again, if y'all got questions, put it in the chat. But essentially, guys, again, I can go out and rent a house like this. You don't have to buy it. You can rent it or lease it. Because as a poor social worker, Tay, I was making $28,000 a year. And God messed around and showed me a lady, y'all, that was making $41,000 a month doing this, what we do. The only difference is, guys, that she was doing is housing people in rats and roaches. So when you see that webinar that I literally have over at forstonconsultants.com, it's going to blow your mind in terms of the conditions of what I saw. And I'm going to show some of it to you guys here. But I literally love to tell the story how I prayed to God and told God that I wanted to help people and I wanted to be involved in real estate. And I always tell people, now, dummy me, God gave me everything that I ever asked him for. Because God told me, no, excuse me. When I say, God, I want to help people, he made me a social worker. When I say, God, I want to be involved in real estate, God showed me a lot of people around me that are rich, wealthy, and well-to-do in life. And it's all because of real estate. So God is genius enough to combine real estate and social services together. That's all he did, y'all. So a lot of people think I'm genius for this model. And I'll be the first one to tell you, I am no genius. My wife tricked me to go to college, and through the grace of God, I finished that. And even before that, y'all, I barely graduated high school. So guys, I'm no genius. God just took something that I was already doing. He took the want and the desire that was in my heart to help people and to be involved in the real estate, and God poured it in a blender and he blended it up. And now we pour this thing all over the world, showing people this model that you don't have to buy the property. Because if you like helping people and you like real estate, ding, 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 ding. This is it. This is one of the only ministries that I've ever found that you can do good and do good by people, meaning you can do good financially and you can also do good in your community. Guys, here's another house. I'm going to show y'all all kinds of different houses of what this can be done in, because some people think it's got to be this big fancy mansion. It's got to look all great. Guys, here's a 3-bed, 1-bath home. This is a home actually here in Georgia. I'm in the Orlando, Florida area, but I just wanted to show y'all a few examples of what it looks like. Somebody got bougie right here. This is a big old house. This is kind of like a 7.5. If you guys walked into this place, you'd be like, wow, they house the homeless like this? Absolutely. But the point is, you get in where you fit in, right? Here's another house, a smaller 3-bed, 2-bath. And guys, remember, we're going to do the model, which is 2 people per room. And remember, this does not require a license, and you don't have to own this place. You can go and rent this place, y'all. Put a number 3 in the chat if you didn't know that. I know for me, when that lady showed me that she was making 41 grand a month, and when she said, Derek, I don't own these places, guys, that's what started this whole thing. Because I thought I had to go and buy the place. I thought I needed a license. So if you're like me and you had no clue that you can rent or lease a place to start your own housing program, put a number 3 in the chat. I was the first one to put it because I know that was my whole story. First of all, people hid this concept from me. Nobody wanted to teach it. And I surely didn't know that I could actually go and rent or lease a place. Hey, did you know that? Miss Jean, did you know that? Like, I didn't know that. Sabrina, did you know that you can lease or rent a place to do this? I didn't know that. Mr. Darrell, did you know that? So I always make sure that I plant here for at least 2 or 3 minutes to make sure that if you hear nothing else after this, I want you to know that you don't have to go and buy this place. Now watch this. God done got so good with us is that over time that we rent so many of these places that now we buy property. So the goal is that eventually you rent enough and you get enough of percentage where one day you can turn around and go, man, you know what? I don't have to do this. I don't have to buy the place. I can go and rent one or lease one. Tay said, I learned from the Forstons. So that must be Tay from the masterclass. We run into a lot of Tays, right? So a T-A-Y, a T-A-I. So if that's Tay from the masterclass, type in masterclass. Good to see you, Tay.
Wow, right?
So again, like, this isn't rocket science, guys. I'll never forget it. I used to beg people to show me what this was, y'all. I was the social worker. And remember, I was the kind of what they would call the honeypot, but I didn't know it. But boy, let me tell you this, as soon as I resigned and quit that job, nobody wanted to help me, right? And that's kind of how it works. But as soon as that lady said, Derek, I don't own these places. You think I bought these places, Derek? Y'all, and that's the only thing she ever told me. She would never teach it. She would never show me how to do it. One day she was just kind of telling me something, and she heard the pencil scribbling on the paper as I was writing down what she was saying. She was like, what are you doing? Don't write that down. What are you doing? Just listen to me. Don't write anything down. I said, ooh.
I almost lost it, y'all.
I said, Lord, have mercy. If this lady don't even want me to write down what she's saying, this must be powerful. Shay, how did that make you feel, that me being on speakerphone, talking to that lady who I'm referring to every day for 5, 6, 7 years, and one day when it looked like she was going to try to unveil a little bit, she screamed at me. Shay, what did that make you feel like as my wife?
As your wife, I was ready to fight. Because it was disrespectful. You know, it wasn't like she was saying, hey, you know, please don't write it down, don't refrain. Like, she was angry. It got aggressive. And I was like, yo, who are you talking to? Hang up. Because I started getting loud then. I'm like, you ain't gonna talk to my husband like that. If anything, you're gonna have to have a conversation with me. But it was, now I see why. I see why. The fact that she was doing this in such deplorable conditions, and the fact that she didn't want you to learn it because she knew that you had the access, right? And didn't realize how much of that access would be taken away. Well, she knew how much of that access would have been taken away if you now positioned yourself to start doing something that she was doing, or what she considered as lucrative in her space of business. So sorry, I got the hiccups. But yeah, that's exactly how I felt. I was not having it, y'all. I was not happy. I was angry mama, ready to fight.
And then years later, we pulled Shay from corporate America, and then now she does the same thing I do from a nonprofit standpoint.
Yes.
So here in just a minute, I'm gonna let Shay chime back in and tell you all how I do this as a for-profit. Shay is actually a nonprofit. So we get that question all the time. Derek, which one should I do? Well, that's kind of up to you.
100%.
It's a personal preference. You don't have to be one or the other, right? So you choose. And I'll just tell you right now, in the beginning, I chose an LLC because I was afraid of a nonprofit. First of all, it cost too much. I ain't have no money, right? I didn't understand it. I didn't want to have to build a board. I didn't want to have meetings and take minutes and depend on other people to make my vision come true. So I didn't want a nonprofit, but most of it was geared towards my ignorance. See, y'all gonna find out tonight that I'm very transparent in our teaching. I went LLC because it was cheap. Guys, you can get an LLC for under $300.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, I think the last LLC that I did from Inkfile was like 190, 180. It's crazy. And if you real smart, you guys should start at least 2 businesses per year. We can talk about that on another
100%.
Tuesday night,
Yeah.
where we talk about business coaching. But Shay and I start at least 2 businesses a year, whether we use them or not.
Mm-hmm.
We want the business to have some years and some weight to it so that we can take that same LLC to the bank and get $20 and $30 and $40,000 in business credit from more than one bank. So I'm gonna go to Chase, I'm gonna go to Wells Fargo, I'm gonna go to Bank of America, I'm gonna go to the credit union, I'm gonna go to Truist Bank, right? So I'm gonna go to several banks within the week or within the same day and get that same 20, 30, 40 grand from all of these banks. We'll talk about that next Tuesday. Put a thumbs up if you want to hear about that next Tuesday. But this slide right here shows you that you can do this in a mobile home. People ask me all the time, Derek, do it have to be a single family house? Absolutely not. It could be a duplex. It could be a mobile home. It can be a trailer. Now, I'll admit, I'd rather you do this in a mobile home or a trailer that's on its own property, not per se in a community. Because most of the time in the community, they want you to live in it. Right? You got to be the owner there living in it. They don't like it when you buy in a community and then try to rent it out. Some communities don't care. But most of them here in Florida where I am, they don't like that. So I always put a slide up and show a mobile home just in case. So as you guys can see, man, there is nothing special about any of these houses. Some of them are big. Some of them are small. Some of them don't look the best in terms of being glamorous on the outside. I'm proud to say Shay and I are under contract for this property. We close hopefully by next Wednesday. And this is going to be the first ILF that we actually own. Because I told y'all all of my ILFs, guys, they're rentals. They're leases, rental arbitrage, where the owner knows what I'm doing and I run my business out of that house. But this is going to be the first house that we're actually going to own it, right? And I bought this house, guys, in a crazy way. This house and the other one, and again, we can talk about this next Tuesday, right? No, tomorrow. Yeah, tomorrow's Tuesday. So we bought this, like we buy houses off of credit cards, business credit. I don't have all the money in my bank account to go and buy this house, y'all. So guess what we do, Sabrina? We use a credit card, business credit, business lines of credit, right? So that's how that works. But again, guys, this is what a house looks like. Some of y'all know me for a cul-de-sac where there's 8 houses in one cul-de-sac. This is one of them. So again, guys, I showed y'all everything from a 2-1 to a 3-1 to a 5-3 to a 6-3 to that 8-bedroom house that I showed you guys here just a minute ago. So guess what my point is to all of this? Start somewhere. Because I told you about the gentleman in Lake Wells, Florida. He's got a 1-bed, 1-bath. Now, what does the inside look like? Because this is what I care most about. As long as your AC working, the lights are on, and the roof ain't leaking, we can work on everything else in the inside, y'all, because I want this to be a nice living for people. Because when you watch my webinar that started all of this over at forstonconsultants.com, you're going to find out that I saw a lady housing people in squalor. In fact, I think I got a little slide for it. Some of these are actual pictures from the place that some places that I went and walked in. This first picture says unsafe. Now, maybe you can't see it in this picture, but there's needles all on the floor in here. There's razors all over the floor, trash all over the floor, food items. The second picture, improper accommodations. One of the things that broke my heart so much, y'all, was I walked into places that had the mattresses on the ground, mattresses on the floor. No bed rails, no sheets, no pillow, no pillowcase. And again, y'all, if this don't break your heart, you in the wrong YouTube channel. I'm telling you right now, if this don't break your heart and you don't want to change this, because we live by a mantra that's kind of like this, right? We want to please God. We want to help people. We want to be respected by the community. And I want to make enough money to be able to feed my family. Watch this. I'm going to reverse it and put it on y'all. After tonight, after y'all meeting me, I want y'all to please God. I want y'all to help people. I want your community to respect you while you doing it. But I also pray to God that you make a bunch of money doing it, because I want you to be able to build the kingdom of heaven, build the kingdom of God. Because somewhere in that Bible, it said that if we build the kingdom, all of these things will be added unto us. So all the things that you want. What I found so genius about this business, y'all, and it's really a ministry, because I used to pray and beg God to bless my life. God, bless my life, bless my family, bless me financially. God, I want to be rich. God, I want to be wealthy. But guess what? God introduced me to something where the blessing of God is already built into it. How genius is that? Watch this. Can you imagine having a job or a business to where the blessing of God was already built into it? In the Bible, it says that the poor and the needy will always be among us. And we are to take care of the poor, the needy, and the widow. Guys, guess what? We're doing that. And we're doing it through real estate. Can I get 5 people to just type in the word real estate? Because again, somebody gonna think I'm a genius, and I'm not. God just showed us how to combine social services and real estate together, so that when we offer something that's called this shared living environment, this is what a typical room looks like. 2 beds per room. Not rocket science. I'm gonna go get them Sterilite drawers from Walmart. Got 2 of these today, actually. And inside of that Sterilite drawer, I'm gonna just be a good guy. I'm gonna put 2 rolls of toilet paper. I'm gonna give him soap. I'm gonna give her a shaver, shampoo, conditioner, washcloth, towel. Do I always provide that ongoing? Not really, but it's a welcome packet that says, welcome to Second Chance Housing. So glad you're here. Sabrina says, I need help. I need your help to find a house, please. And that's what we're going to talk a little bit about today, Miss Sabrina, because somebody commented on my YouTube channel last week and said, well, Derek, don't you still got to have money to buy or rent the place? We got a student that just did exactly what we told her, which is talk about this everywhere you go. Everywhere. Make people tired of you, sick of you. Remember that meme that says they're going to get sick of me? Make people tired of you talking about what this is, that one day somebody says, man, you know what? I got a property. I ain't doing nothing with it right now. I would love to help you launch your program. In fact, take it for 3 to 4 months. And then when you get on your feet, then you start paying rent. We got a student like that right now. Yep. She didn't have the money. She couldn't rent one and she couldn't buy one. But she talked about it so much. She got her t-shirts built with her logo on it, just like I told you all to do. She's presenting this in different places to social workers, case managers, and social service providers, and literally got blessed with a house. And then again, if y'all believe in God, you got to mix prayer in with it. And watch this. I'm going to tell you 3 times probably tonight before it's over. I'm no pastor, I'm no priest, and I'm no bishop. But we love God and we love people and we love real estate. And God is so genius that he allowed us to combine that stuff together. Okay. Thank y'all for participating in the chat too. I love it when y'all do that because it makes me know that y'all are listening. But this is essentially what it looks like. Today, I literally ran out of mattresses. I just took over another 4-bed, 2-bath home. I got all the beds in it except one. So where did I go? I didn't go to Rooms to Go. I didn't go to JCPenney. I didn't go to Amazon.
Right.
Guys, I start this just like today, how I started 8 years ago when I was poor and begging for money. Facebook Marketplace, Craigslist, my own house, right? So I'm literally showing you all how I did this from, because look how great this room looks. But guess what? All of that stuff is used except for the pillow, the pillowcase, the sheets, and the comforter, the towel, and the washcloth. All of that's brand new. That headboard, gently used. That mattress, gently used. That box spring, gently used. Devin, I hope you here, buddy, because I want you to come up or either type in the chat. I literally met a guy today who I hope is on this live right now. I went and got a mattress from him for like what? He had listed for $40. He had a mattress cover on it. He had extra padding on it. Told him what I do for a living. He was like, oh, man. He said, I love that. I said, well, buddy, do you want to get in it? Hopefully him and his brother on here right now. But he don't know it. But watch this. God gonna bless his life. Because anybody that provides
Yeah.
or give us anything to go in these houses, God gonna help you and change your life too. So when I got in my truck, I prayed, God bless his life. And I even told him, I said, buddy, you don't know it, but you gonna help somebody. You selling me this mattress, you just took somebody from homeless to hopeful. You just took somebody that was sleeping on the concrete outside to this nice bed. Now, guess what I went and did? I went to Rose's, the store that I always tell y'all about, Rose's or Walmart, and I went and bought another mattress cover, sanitized it, put a mattress cover on it, the ones that zip up. Nice, good to go. Now I put my brand new sheets, my brand new pillow, my brand new comforter on it. Tomorrow, somebody gonna be sleeping in that bed probably.
Come on.
That's the genius of this, y'all. Can I get 3 people to type the word follow? Because I just want to make sure that you guys are following me. Because if I'm losing anybody, write the word lost, L-O-S-T. But if you're following me, can I get at least 3 people to put I'm following, Derek? You're telling me I don't have to own the property. I can rent it or lease it. And then I haven't got to the part yet, but we're going to build relationships with social workers and case managers. And I hope the other 2 social workers are on this call. Now, I'm not going to say their names because I don't want to get them in trouble. But if either one of y'all are here, I'm going to say Miss C and Miss, what was the other lady's name? Miss T. Miss C and Miss T. If either one of y'all are here, just type in the comments, yes. These are 2 social workers that found out about me through social media. One of them just knew me from my assistant, Jess. The other one found us on social media, y'all. I tell y'all all the time, man, social media and word of mouth is one of the 2 greatest assets that you can have when it comes to getting the word out about what you do. Katara, I got your message too. Man, you need to be meeting this week. I want you on my calendar this week, Katara. But again, guys, this isn't rocket science. We're going to make connections with social workers, case managers, and social service providers. Those 2 ladies, and normally I'll admit this don't happen a lot, but these 2 ladies want to come to my facility to see what it looked like. A lot of social workers don't like to do that because they know that when they do show up, it's got roaches, it's got rats, it's got bed bugs, it's dirty, it's nasty, it's grimy. You ought to heard the way that these 2 people bragged on my program today. I wish they were here because it's baloney y'all hearing me say it. Please, Miss C or Miss T, raise your hand. Both of them told me that they were shy and they may not speak, but please type in the chat if either one of the social workers are here from Aspire. And I ain't afraid to say that name either, because if you're in Central Florida, you need to connect with Aspire Health Partners. They have an amazing program where they're discharging the kind of clients that we serve each and every day. And they're looking for people like us. So when she walked into my facility and she saw this stuff, do y'all see these pictures or am I just scrolling and y'all ain't seeing nothing?
They see.
Somebody type in the word I see. Because I want y'all to, because when I show this picture, most people say, wait a minute, Derek, you told me 2 per room or 1 per room. Derek, why in the world you got 3 beds in this room? Because it's so large, you wouldn't even believe it. Guys, y'all can't even see the rest of this room. It's so large. Those green chairs, Miss Sabrina, again, because of social media, some hotel saw me running my big mouth again and said, hey, man, we love what you do. We getting ready to revamp our whole hotel. Come and get these chairs, these tables, these beds, these end tables. Because, Derek, if you don't, we throwing it all in the dumpster. You ought to have seen all of those U-Haul trucks. All of us was up there. Because if you was an ILF Master Blueprint member, you came and showed up too. Put a number 1 in the chat if you was in that call. It was a lot of ILF Master Blueprint people, especially the ones from the Orlando and the Kissimmee, Florida area. They gave us that stuff. And y'all should see how big those chairs are. The picture don't justify it, but those green chairs are like double-sized recliners. That room is so large, I was able to put 2 of those in there, another table, and on the other end, you can't see it, but it's 2 more chairs. Thank you, Miss Green. She said, I see it. Thank you, Katara and Nikki. Sabrina, thank y'all. Because I just wanted to make sure that I wasn't scrolling and y'all couldn't see it. Because this is why a lot of people like the YouTube now. Before, I just talked about this stuff. And then say, hey, well, go check out my Instagram. Not no more. Because of my assistant, Alex, who's also here today, we were able to build this like literally 5 minutes before we came on. Can y'all imagine starting something like this? Most of y'all think this stuff brand new. I told you the only thing in this room brand new, y'all, is the sheets, the pillow, the comforter, and the pillowcase. Them pictures on the wall, Facebook Marketplace. Those little dressers, Craigslist. We even get those dressers from Walmart, y'all, for like $14. They're 3-drawer and they call Sterilite. Most of the people that y'all gonna house only gonna have a book bag and the clothes they're wearing. Some of them are gonna have 15 suitcases. That's like 3%. 90% of the people y'all housing, because right now, I got a guy in transit to my house right now. Watch this. Took a phone call a couple of days ago. My virtual assistant, Jess, answered the phone, done the assessment, and said, Derek, I think this guy's going to be a good fit. I assessed the guy. Just by chance, today he's being discharged, and guess what he on his way to? That big old mansion I showed y'all many pictures ago. He wanted a private room. He said, Derek, I don't share no room, bro. I'm 55 years old. So what do you say to the guy that don't want to share a room? You give him a private room. No problem. Within this one model, Sabrina, you probably didn't know this. Miss Green, in this one ILF model, there's actually 3 different kinds of way we house people. One is called the shared living model. This is where both of those people in that room, I'm going to take from homeless to hopeful, and they both paying rent. Now, where I live at, those beds are $680 a piece. $680, and I take care of the lights, the water, the cable, and the Wi-Fi. But watch this, Miss Green. Miss Green gonna think I'm a genius on this one. Miss Green, guess what sounds better than me saying $680 a month, even though nobody can beat that in the entire city? Guess what sounds better than me saying that? If I tell you that I'm $22 a day, Lord have mercy. Because that's what I really am. If you guys break out your calculator right now and put in 680 divided by 31 days, $21 and some change, $22 and some change. So how great does it sound as I'm advertising it to the social workers and the case managers? Ma'am or sir, the raggediest hotel in your city that's full of roaches, they still want $60 a night. Here at Second Chance Housing, or you plug in your program name, you only charge $23 a day. Lord have mercy. That's the best way to do this. Really quick, y'all, if y'all are following me, just give me a thumbs up again, because my whole goal every night that I come here is, for one, that I don't lose anybody. For two, is to give the game away about what this is. And by the time we get to the end, I'm going to give y'all an opportunity to start your own program. But until then, I want to show y'all a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back. Hey, what's going on, family? Just to let you know really quick, everything that you're listening to right now, I actually have it in a more structured way in a webinar. So when you guys get done here, go to forstonconsultants.com, click the tab that says webinars, and there's 2 webinars there. One is for you to be the actual ILF operator, meaning that you want to do it. And then the other one is the HRA. That stands for Housing Referral Agency, where you're able to take people from homeless to hopeful, and you actually don't need the real estate. It stands for a Housing Referral Agency, and we call it a business in a box. But definitely go to forstonconsultants.com, watch both of those webinars, then set up a free strategy call with me and my team, and let's see how we can get you started. Back to the show. All right. So back to the show. And again, guys, if you just joined us and you just turned the channel on, if you love God, love people, and love real estate, you're in the right place. We show people how to open their own independent living facility, not a group home, not an ALF, and not anything to where you need a license. This does not require a license, and you don't have to own the property. And this is called a shared living environment. So a lot of times when people see our pictures, y'all, they say, well, Derek, where you getting all of this nice stuff from? Even the living room sets. One more time, guys, I don't spend a lot of money trying to put these places together. Because if you know my original story, you all, guys, I was a poor social worker making $28,000 a year until God showed me a lady that was making $41,000 a month. And y'all, she was doing this housing people in rats and roaches. So just like those 2 social workers that came to see my facility today, they were blown away. They said, Derek, man, you ought to see some of the places that we saw just today before coming here. And that's why I wanted them to come on. But if they don't, I still have social workers and case managers that we've interviewed over the years on my YouTube channel, and they'll tell you how we're separated from most any other housing program that they refer to. So that's why when we teach it to you in your city and in your state, you're going to be the go-to person, right? you're going to be the one that's on the top of the list. And again, it's because we house people like this. Now, I will admit that TV on that wall right there, that was a brand new TV from Walmart for about $250, flat screen, about a 50-inch. But today, we still get even our TVs from Craigslist, Facebook Marketplace, and again, from my house. So when I first started, everything came from my house, my furniture, the rugs, the pictures, everything. But even these living room sets, like that rug, I'll admit, I went to Rose's and bought that rug for $10. Those chairs came from that same hospital. I mean, excuse me, that hotel that we told you about. My mom gave me those two mirrors. Big shout out to Mom Forston. In fact, Mom Forston, if you don't here tonight, give me a thumbs up. My mom is a big part of what we do. She's our spiritual advisor. So if y'all need prayer, right, any of that encouragement type stuff, that's what my mom does. But my mom gave me the mirrors. The TV came from my garage. That dresser came from the hotel. All four of those chairs came from the hotel, guys. So now I don't even do couches that much in my living room day area because people just lounge around all the time, right? So I found out if I get big, comfortable chairs, it's more suitable for everybody. So again, the way y'all see this house looking, guys, I don't spend a lot of money here. Those two brown chairs in the front, guys, I paid $10 a piece for both of those chairs. That table in the middle was sitting in my garage for over 8 years. That rug underneath it came from Rose's for $5. That TV, again, guys, that came from Facebook Marketplace for like $50. And every time I show up somewhere getting things, let people know what you do because it melts their heart usually. So usually you'll get a discount or people just give you stuff. The moment you say, hey, man, I want to buy this TV, and yeah, you got it for 50, but hey, man, I house the homeless and I'm trying to do everything on a pretty tight budget. Think I can get that TV for $40? Man, you house the homeless, $40, bro, just give me 25, man. I'll help you load it up. So again, guys, don't forget to tell people what you do. You guys have a ministry. This ain't all about just housing people. Remember, this is a ministry, guys. And the Bible, remember, not Derek. The Bible says the poor and needy will always be among you. It also says that we are to take care of the poor, the needy, and the widow. Who you guys think my wife is housing in her nonprofit organization? Widows, elderly women that would be sleeping behind a dumpster without my wife. Can you imagine the guy that y'all drive and see at that red light that's holding the sign that says, I'll work for food? Believe it or not, y'all, he get a check, as y'all call it. Today, it's on a debit card. It's called Direct Express. The homeless guy that you see in your city sleeping in the woods on the street, I guarantee you 90% of those guys actually get an income. Y'all just don't know it, just like I did it. So as the social worker, I also kind of didn't know that. But again, back to it. Now, guys, I'll admit, I went to not a thrift store. I don't even know what you call it, but this was like a gently used furniture store. Guys, I've gotten so many compliments on these like yellowish khaki-like chairs. It ain't even funny. All of those tables and coffee tables, again, that came from that hotel. Guys, I probably had over 200 of these tables. I probably had over 300 pictures. Guys, like I can just show y'all picture after picture of the things. Every picture that's on that wall, guys, that came from a hotel. And let me not be disrespectful. First of all, it wasn't a hotel. It was a resort. They usually correct me when I say that. This was a resort that saw what we do and said, sir, we want to be able to donate. If you're willing to come up here by tomorrow, because if not, it's all going in the dumpster. But come tomorrow and you can have all of the stuff you want. And guys, they had beds, twin beds, headboards, footboards, thousands of pictures, TVs, TV stands. Guys, you name it, they had it. So my next few ILFs after I launched this particular one, all the stuff, guys, came from my garage at that point because we got so much of that stuff from there. So again, guys, if you got any questions, any concerns, I'm getting carried away with all of these pictures because I'm not used to this. I'm used to just talking. But now that I get to show pictures, I love this. So again, guys, there is nothing you see in this picture that I paid for brand new. All of this stuff is gently used. Can I get at least 3 people to tell me how this looks, if it looks good, crappy, cheap, or would you like to live here? Most case managers say, wow, Derek, why you do us so nice for these homeless people? Because I say I'm trying to change the way they live in, and I'm trying to change their mindset. You put them in squalor, they live in squalor. You put them in bad conditions, they live in bad conditions. Can I get a few people just to kind of comment in the chat? What do y'all think of what these places look like? Are they up to par? If you're a social worker, you definitely, I want y'all to comment. What does this look like to you? And again, I'm just excited because I never really get to show people pictures unless it's a part of our master class or something of that nature. But now every Monday, every Tuesday, every Saturday, this is what we do. So now I'm going to get down to the nitty gritty of how y'all can get in it. The first thing is the ILF webinar. So if you haven't watched our ILF webinar, that can be found at forstonconsultants.com. My assistant is in this room, Alex. He's one of our virtual assistants, and I'll talk about that as well, how our VAs run basically everything that we do now. So God and I built Second Chance Housing about 7 years ago, right? But 11 months ago, I turned my whole program over to Jess. Jess is a virtual assistant, right? Jess is my virtual assistant from the Philippines. She runs Second Chance Housing. She's my personal assistant. She's also customer service for us. And if you hang around us long enough, we teach you how to use these virtual assistants to kind of help you with any business that you have. And again, somewhere between $4 and $5 an hour, that's the cheat code to have somebody to help you with your social media, answering the telephones, even doing placement for you. As I told you guys earlier, right? My VA literally moved a guy in that moved in today. I haven't physically seen this guy yet. It's all been by phone. Now, I'll go tomorrow to meet him, but we moved him in today. In fact, I Ubered him from the hospital. I started to tell that story earlier, but I don't think I finished it. We literally moved in a guy today that got the referral was actually from a cancer oncology center. So the gentleman was receiving cancer treatment, but once the treatment was over, he now does outpatient. But guess what? Every hospital has social
And
workers,
discharge plans.
case managers, and discharge planners.
100%. Yeah.
And Shay, what did he share with that guy? I'm homeless and need
Yeah.
somewhere to live. Well, actually, I'm not homeless. I'm in a hotel, but I pay $80 a night. Guys, you can't afford
Yep.
$80 a night.
Consistently, not
So,
on that income.
so when he finds out, turn on your camera, Shay, if you can.
I'm sorry,
If he
Matt.
finds out that I charge $22 a day and I pay the lights, I pay the water, I pay the Wi-Fi, I pay for the security system. Because when you guys get into this, Miss Green, you could be known as a one-stop shop. Your guys are not going to pay a light bill and a water bill and the Wi-Fi bill. My clients pay $680, and that's going to get them a bed in one of those shared rooms. The private room, that's a little different. That could be $880. That private suite, that can be $940. So remember earlier I told you guys, and I stopped telling the story, but I'm going to start it again now. There's 3 different models in this one setting. Shared housing, that's going to work for everybody just about. The private room means he got his own room and he'll never have a roommate, but he still shares the bathroom in the hallway. But that private suite, Shay, he don't have a roommate and he got his own bathroom.
100%. Yeah.
When I say the boy got his own bathroom, the boy got his own bathroom, as they say in that movie, right? So that's the private model, the private suite model, and the shared living model. And again, my assistant Alex just put the thing in the website, in the chat. That's the first step to all of this. And a lot of people think we're crazy that the free webinar that we give away for you to get and understand it, they're like, dude, that was free. Yeah. Most people will charge you for it. Most people would even charge you for half of what I told you tonight. But our job, and what I promised God many years ago, I said, God, if you let me get in this and you let me do it and quit my job doing it, God, I won't hide it from people the way they hid it from me. I'll go all over the world teaching it. God, I'll turn this into a career. And that's what I've done, y'all. So pretty much 5 days a week. I do try to rest on Saturdays and Sunday, but usually 5 days a week, y'all, I'm somewhere teaching this, motivating, consulting, and teaching people how to start their own independent living facility. Because again, remember, you don't need a license like a group home or an ALF. You don't have to buy the property. That was the biggest cheat code for me. I can get past that license thing. I'll go get a license if I need one. But you mean to tell me as a poor social worker making 28 grand a year, I don't have to buy this place? That was the game changer for me, guys. So make sure you watch the webinar at forstonconsultants.com. And as soon as you watch it, set up a free strategy call. Because we usually tell people, watch the webinar, go be nosy, and find me on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and let's also be Facebook friends. So if you're new tonight and we're not Facebook friends, please send me a friend request, because I want you to get all the footage, because I put footage on my personal page. I put it on Forston Consultants. We're hard to miss, y'all. So I'm on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, LinkedIn, Pinterest, all of that stuff.
Go ahead.
And most of it, right, Shay? Most of it is Forston Consultants. But at TikTok and on Facebook, my regular personal page, that's it, Derek Forston. So let's become friends, because I want you guys to be able to see what this is. Because the longer you hang around us, you'll find out, man, he don't hide nothing. He just give the game away. I usually tell people, man, our coaching is for the people that are kind of like me, that you don't catch things right away. You want somebody to hold your hand through all the bumps, the bruises. You want my personal phone number. You want me to be in your back pocket. That's who the coaching is really, really for. And that means our ILF Mastery Blueprint. And I've been getting a lot of questions about, is the ILF Mastery Blueprint still available in terms of that scholarship? Yes, the scholarship hadn't went anywhere. So if you got questions about the scholarship, in fact, I think we have a little commercial on it. I'm going to play this commercial and we'll be right back. Hey, what's going on, family? I hope you guys are enjoying the content, but I just want to let you know there's still time to apply for the scholarship for the ILF Mastery Blueprint, and that's our one-on-one coaching. So there's a lot that comes with it. So I'm just going to guide you guys to the website so that you can kind of check it out for yourself after we're done here. So you're going to visit forstonconsultants.com. Then you're going to click the tab that says products and services. The first thing that's going to pop up is the ILF Mastery Blueprint. Click that tab that says learn more, and it's literally going to give you step-by-step instruction of what you can do. And it's real easy of how you can apply and win the scholarship to apply to the price so that you can get our one-on-one coaching here at Forston Consultants. Let's get back to the content. All right, good stuff. So as I said, that scholarship is still available. Our normal one-on-one coaching for the ILF Mastery Blueprint is 15 grand, right? And it's worth every penny. In fact, it's, in my opinion, it's underpriced in terms of what comes with it, right? So for the first time ever, we actually give you my accountant. So instead of you scratching your head and say, should I go nonprofit or for-profit? Should I do QuickBooks? Or how do I set up my books? We give you my accountant up to 3 to 6 months now, right? We also gift you with a virtual assistant. So as I told you all, God and I built this program over 7 years ago, but 11 months ago, I gave my whole program over to a virtual assistant who is now like family to me. Jess runs my program. And again, if you've never experienced what a virtual assistant can do for you and your business and your life, join us tomorrow at 6 p.m. because we talk about virtual assistants in our digital marketing company every Tuesday. But every product, every ebook, every curriculum, everything that we've ever created in terms of the housing, the homeless, and the displaced, you get it. We have tons of products. In the ILF Mastery Blueprint, you actually get it all. So whereas some people come to us and purchase things individually, even our master classes, the MSI group coaching, all of the things that we have. And by all means, guys, make sure you go to the website tonight at forstonconsultants.com. Or if you got a second phone or a tablet, just do it now. And look at all of that stuff that comes with the ILF Mastery Blueprint. That's why it's so expensive. But with the scholarship, guys, it slices the price in half. So for only $7,500, once you get approved for that scholarship, that's all it costs. And also, we don't mind if you go in with a partner. So we get that questions a lot. Derek, can I bring my sister in? Derek, can me and my homegirl do it? Derek, can me and my uncle do it? Absolutely. Like, we encourage that, actually. Some coaches don't like you to do that. They don't want you to bundle people together. We don't mind that. So if you and another person want to do it, just let our team know and we'll split your invoice. But in terms of the first 3 steps of getting started, watch the ILF, join us on our YouTube channel, set up a strategy call. The strategy call is going to kind of help you better understand everything you heard today, and then ask me your normal questions or your question that you didn't want to ask in a live room. And then you also get an opportunity to be offered other things once we're on the phone. So there's a lot of special deals and things that happen once you get on the phone. That's why we tell everybody, wink, 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 just set up an appointment and get on the phone with one of us, because you never know what could happen. So we probably got another 35 minutes in this room or so. But I also want to do this and make it really easy. To qualify for the ongoing scholarship, simply text the word scholarship to 407-326-0086. And if you do that, my team has already created something to be able to give you more information and to move you along and to get you in an appointment with me. So again, if you want to apply for that scholarship, that's 407-326-0086. And just text the word scholarship. That's all you need to do. And then they're going to send you all the information that you need to qualify. But even before doing it, I would love to know, even in this room tonight, right? Don't even worry about talking about paying for it or any of that. If you had the money tonight and money was not a problem, type the word yes in the chat if you would get the coaching from us in terms of how to do this, which is the shared living environment, better known as the independent living facility. Meaning if you caught the lottery tonight, or if you just had a bunch of money drop in your lap, or if money wasn't a problem, or if you took our financing. We have third-party financing. We have in-house financing. So if money was not the problem, who would take the coaching to learn how to do this to change your life, your family's life, and the lives of other people? And I'm seeing the yeses coming in right now, because usually that's the only thing that stops people from wanting to do this. And that's why we also offer the financing, both third party and in-house. And the third party financing is so cool because the credit requirements goes as low as a 590. So most time when people offer you credit, you got to be at a 600, 650. And sometimes our credit isn't just kind of, up to par of where it needs to be. We also do credit repair. So if you need that, let us know. But again, most people, what stops them is actually getting one thing is the financing to actually get the coaching. Problem number two for most people is trying to get the property. So that's the only two big major hurdles that we see when people try to get into this ministry. And that's why we've dedicated 3 days a week to give the game away for free. But trust me, there's nothing like that one-on-one coaching when I'm in your back pocket, right? There's tons of things that we could never talk about on this live YouTube, right? But me as your big brother now, or your little brother, or whatever you want to refer to me as, I'm in your back pocket once you actually start receiving the coaching. So again, guys, you never know. My goal is, and my advice, let's get on the phone call together. You never know what could happen once we're on the phone. So again, type the word scholarship to 407-326-0086. This is the part where I want to take some questions. I'm going to go back in the chat to see what we have there. Here's the QR code that you guys can also scan to watch that same webinar. My team loves to make things easy for people. So instead of you having always to type in something, you guys can also scan that. That's been a big thing in 2023 and 2024. So feel free to go ahead and do that. I'm going to scroll through really quick and look at some questions. If we have some.
It's been a lot of
and if we don't, now's a great time.
There was a question from, here we go. I posted one for you there, Derek.
So do you have general liability insurance for your business? Absolutely. Great question, Nikki. Nikki, in fact, that was one of the biggest mistakes that I made. So I'm going to give you some of my coaching right now. Nikki, one of the first lawsuits that I had when I first started this, because Nikki, if you can imagine, when I first started, I made every mistake you can imagine. So I made the Channel 8 news, the Channel 9 news, lawsuits, and not for good reasons why I made the news channel either, right? But imagine a gentleman that I was housing, woke up one morning, stumped his big toe, got on the phone and called Morgan & Morgan. Literally sued me for $30,000. But the biggest and the dumbest mistake, which my newest book that I'm so excited about that's coming out here in just a few weeks, it's called The 12 Biggest Mistakes That I've Made Starting the ILF. It's called, man, it's so new. I'm gonna see if I can remember the title. Avoiding the ILF. No. Avoiding the independent living facility fiasco. Avoiding the 12 biggest mistakes that I've made starting in ILF. One of those mistakes in that book is talking about not having the proper insurance. So yes, today I'm covered. But when that happened to me, when I got stumped his big toe and sued me for $30,000, I didn't have it. So I spent a lot of money in court going back and forth. just to prove there was nothing wrong that I did. Because actually the guy lied on me, right? But what I found out is that when you want to sue somebody, it don't have to be true. If I want to sue you right now, you just got to prove that I didn't do whatever I said, right? So, and if it's a company or a law firm that'll take your case with no money, if they think they can win it, they'll take the case. That's what happened to this guy. He didn't have no money to pay no lawyer. But when he told the lawyer what happened in his words, he was like, yeah, I'll take that case. So great question, Nikki. Yes, you have to have a general liability policy to make sure that you're covered because everybody loves to sue. Okay. So you should have several degrees of protection. One is going to be your LLC. That's going to kind of protect you as a person as well. That general liability policy is going to cover that slip and fall at the rental that you don't own, right? Remember, we rent these places or even if you buy. My general liability policy will cover me if Miss Jones fall on the floor and pretend she slipped, right? So great question. That's a mistake that a lot of people make in this business, in this ministry. They're underinsured or not insured at all. So yes, ma'am, you got to have a general liability policy if you want to stay safe, right? Insurance will keep you out of the courtroom. It'll keep you out of jail and it'll keep money in your pocket. So we also have an ILF ebook bundle where there's 2 ebooks together in the what was 2 ebooks and a mini course for only 97 bucks. The number 2 book to that course, to that bundle, it's called I Have an ILF. Now what? Right? So the ebook, in fact, Alex, if you can put that in the chat too, it's called the ILF bundle. So the first book is called How to Open an Independent Living Facility in 10 Easy Steps. That's the first book I ever wrote. Meaning, like, what did I do? Everybody said I was crazy, that it would never work. Derek, how you gonna open up a group home, bro, with no license and no staff? Well, first of all, it's not a group home. So, but once I did it, God and I did it, people are like, how did you do that? So instead of me keeping it and being a crab in a bucket, I put it in a book and shared it with the whole world. And then years later, I wrote a sequel to it that's called I Have an ILF. Now what? And that whole book is about how to stay out of jail, out of the courtroom, and how to keep money in your pocket. So again, some of the dumb stuff that I did in the beginning, and literally my virtual assistant and I, literally in a span of about 3 days, we literally wrote this other book. I tell y'all all the time, we're going to talk about it tomorrow, but it used to take me months or a year to write a book. I can write a book now under 5 days because of AI tools and the virtual assistants. So again, put a thumbs up if that's the kind of thing that you love to hear and talk about every Tuesday. So I'm grateful for that. And that book again is called Avoiding the Independent Living Facility Fiasco, right? Avoiding the 12 biggest mistakes that I made. So that book is going to be very valuable to people because if you're smart, all you do is do the opposite of what I did in that book for the 12 steps. And I still give gems of what I did wrong. And at the bottom, it has like tip in bold writing and gives you kind of a summary of like, prime example, mistake number 5 might have been, I put the lease in my regular name, dummy me. I put Derek Forston. I'm finna save somebody's life right now. I put Derek Forston on the lease instead of Second Chance Housing. That was the dumbest thing ever. That's why the lawsuit was almost about to go through because Derek personally was liable instead of my business, the LLC. I think that's the next question, actually. Do you rent lease on your name or your business name? Tay, absolutely your business name. Because it's Tay, if I would have had that lease in Second Chance Housing's name, I wouldn't have went through all that trouble that I went through because I also would have been insured. But dummy me in the beginning, Tay, I just didn't know no better. So I truly believe now the way life has kind of happened to me, my whole job in life now is to go through stuff, go through the bumps, the bruises, all the mistakes. And once I get it right, come back and teach it to other people. It's kind of like that scripture in the Bible that says, write the vision and make it plain so that he that readeth it can run with it. That also means this, Derek, go through all the bumps and the bruises and the mistakes so that when you do write it down, other people now can run with it. That's my whole ministry, y'all. Type the word yes if you like that. or if you agree with that. Because again, that's my ministry. That's what God did for me. Not saying y'all got to be that way, but I also believe my blessing to my life is tied into that. Prime example, me and my wife went through something crazy these last few months that I'm going to be teaching probably 6 months from now. Because I'm going through it. I'm learning all the dumb mistakes that I made doing it. And this has nothing to do with the ILF. It's something completely different, but it's about business. So once I fully get it, me and my lawyer going through it, I'm getting this new lawyer. Y'all going to learn about it in 6 months so that you don't make that mistake. So sometimes when people read that scripture that says, write the vision and make it plain, they think that means for them all the time. Not me in the way God kind of geared my life up, Tay. God got it to me now. I already know it, Tay, so I can't even get an attitude when I'm trying something new and it don't work right away. It ain't going my way. It ain't going as planned. I already know now, Derek, you got to go through the bumps, the bruises, the mistakes, and you might end up on Channel 8 News in a bad way. But guess what? God gonna work it out for your good, Derek. Because just like on my social media the other day, I said it. I said, God, it look real crazy right now. God, it look weird. I've never been here. Things are rough. Nothing's working out. I don't hear your voice. I said, but God, you're going to help me. You're going to bring me out of this. You're going to do it. And the whole goal was just telling people to be positive. Speak the word. Speak positive things. Because if you keep pushing, you keep moving, the Bible says if you, because here's the layman terms. If you keep pushing, keep striving, keep believing, watch your mouth and stay positive, all things will work out for your good. The Bible said it in a more of a little bit of a different way. You will reap if you faint not. But I just said the other day on my social media, that's a fancy way to say, boy, if you don't give up, if you keep positive, and I always say, watch your mouth. Some of us just speak the wrong stuff. I got such a great habit that like if I get too off in like my speech, I just shut up because words are powerful, y'all. And my wife will tell you, if I don't got nothing good to say, usually I just shut up, especially if it's going to be negative. Now, I like a good argument just like anybody else. Now, I ain't talking about arguing or arguing, as they say, right?
A good debate.
I'm talking about a downright, like, you know what I mean? Like, so I don't know if I'm worded right, y'all, but anyway, stay positive. Watch your mouth. There's power in the tongue. Life and death is in the tongue. Guys, for all the new people, guys, I spoke 8 years ago for the way I'm set up today. 8 years ago, I was a poor social worker, barely making ends meet, making 28 grand a year. But I told people I had a housing program. I teach this all over the world, and I have hundreds of ILFs throughout multiple states.
Say it again.
Guys, that really kind of wasn't true. But somebody put it in the chat. Rebecca. And also, guys, you got to call these things that be not as though they were. So somebody said, well, Derek, you was lying. No, I wasn't. I was speaking in faith.
Because that was a goal you were planning on.
That was the goal, Shay.
Yeah, that was a goal. That was a goal. Like to me, a lie is when you don't even have the goal set. You know,
when you just said it have no means to fulfill it. Shay, that was powerful.
None
Thank
whatsoever.
you for saying that.
I like how you twisted it.
Yeah,
you made that sound real good.
That's perfect. It could be a lie if you say it with no intention to kind of push that thing.
Come on.
Lord have mercy. That's the first time I was able to see it that way. Write the vision and make it plain. And again, for me, that meant, Derek, write the vision. Yeah, make it plain. But Derek, you got to go through the bumps. You got to go through the bruises. Because Big Mouth, you told God that if he make it work for you, you will share it with other people.
100%.
I promised that to God, y'all, years ago. So I know that my life's mission now, why do you think every Tuesday night is catered to just talking about business and virtual assistants? Shay and I own 8 businesses, y'all. We're not afraid to share the knowledge of that. And I tell y'all, the core of all of those 8 businesses are the VAs and that digitalflowsolutions.net system that we use. So when you leave us tonight, if you're new to us, just to be prepared for tomorrow, go check out digitalflowsolutions.net. That's what'll blow your business through the roof. Whatever business you have, housing, I don't care if you bake chocolate chip cookies or if you fry chicken. If it's a business, you need digitalflowsolutions.net in your life.
100%. Absolutely.
Okay. Next question. How can I make a profit if the housing prices are already so expensive in my area? 2 bed, 2 bath goes for 28.50. That sounds crazy. That does sound high. So what I do tell people in that case, Tay, sometimes people go a little bit outside of where they live at. Most of the time, I want people to live within 1 hour of where this place is, right? Until you get super experienced in it. I don't like for people to go super far out to like 2 cities over, the next state over. But I will tell you to drive 20 minutes, 20 miles outside of where you live at, 40 minutes, 45 miles of where you live at. Sometimes where you live at, if you just drive 30 minutes north, east, or south, or west, the prices can dramatically change. No different from where I live at. Where I live at, I can get a renter at a pretty decent price. Where most of my ILFs are, prime example. I don't know if I should say, I'm not, because he might be watching it. He might change the price on me. But anyway, I got a really great deal on a 4-bed, 2-bath home. Guys, I can't find a house at that price in Orlando anywhere.
Please don't share that price. Jesus.
Like, so again, but if I drive 30 minutes west of where I live, I end up in a place called Windermere, Owlsworth. You got to be worth millions of dollars to live there, right? So it's not going to work there because of the pricing and because of the neighborhood. So Tay, try that actually. Try to go 20 to 30 minutes south, east, or west of where you live at. See if it gets better. But if you're in a city or a state like, I'll say, certain parts of California, certain parts of anything that's up north, New York, New Jersey, any of what's known as your higher rental rate states, because I always tell people the math has got to make sense. If the math ain't mathing, this ain't gonna work. Because I don't want none of y'all to run a shelter. One day I'm gonna have a shelter where I'm housing people for free, and then they will roll over into the independent living. But as it stands today, guys, we need to make this affordable, and we need to make it profitable. Remember, money follows ministry, money follows mastery, and this is it. So again, if it's too expensive in your area, you may have to consider going somewhere else, a different area. And usually for most people within a 40-minute drive, north, south, or east, or west, that's where you can find that sweet spot. But I'll admit, if I'm teaching you, I don't really want you to be more than an hour away from it, especially in the beginning if you're new to it. Make sense, everybody? Type yes if that makes sense. I'll take another question too. And as I'm answering you all's questions, if you have a follow-up question, let me know. Or if I miss it and I don't hit your question just right, also let me know. Okay. And then for the people that may have joined a little bit later, I'm going to rewind some of this stuff so that you guys can continue to see the pictures as I speak. All right. So here's one that says, if your local area demographics have more, let's see, this thing is blocking the words. Let me see.
If your local area demographics have more displaced males, what is your advice to women ILF operators opening a house for men? I just paraphrased.
Oh, I love that question. Oftentimes, the way I explain this is this, right? And Shay can be a testament to this. When the women open up an ILF and they choose to serve men, that's where you're going to get most of your respect from. The women are going to be kind of catty towards you, right? They're going to think that you're, or you think you all that because you just got a little house now. Like the women that house women, it can get catty. My wife houses women. But ask my wife what is the relationship between her and all of my male clients. Shay?
Amazing.
It's just different.
It is. I think it's more respect or more
and the
helpful.
female clients give me no problems.
Yeah. So again, like the male clients at Derek's Homes, and sorry guys, my camera is doing something really funky because of my Wi-Fi connection. So that's why my camera is not on. But in regards to the residents, I get a lot of respect from the male residents. They're very helpful. They're very respectful. If I ask them to do something, Derek kind of just turns away because they usually do it when I ask them. And then if I notice that Derek's asking them to do something, multiple times, or he keeps having to ask the question, I come in and I'm like, come on, like I can be stern with the guys, and it's uncomfortable for them to see me stern.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. So they kind of get to it because they're used to seeing me very at ease, very, amicable, and just, doing right by them. But when they see me a little more rigid in regards to my delivery on things that I want done, I see a difference in their response. And that is more of a quick, they're faster to move to get things done. But for the most part, I've had no issues with any of the male clients. Glory be to God for that. Again, it's all about the assessment as well. In that assessment, those are questions you want to ask. Like, do you have any aggression towards women? We did have a
Yep.
resident that did have aggression towards women. So at all times, my guard had to be up at 100%. And again, you've got to be safe. Have your security guard with you, if you know what I mean. But again, you want to be cautious in those areas. Have your assessment down pat, so that way when you're assessing these individuals, you're asking the right questions. You're kind of sizing them up to a certain extent as well. But at the same time, again, I'm one of those people that I'm very comfortable around men. Um, I'm very alert and aware at all times of my surroundings.
She's got
And
a pretty good coach around her too. So
I think I coach my coach too sometimes, though. Don't worry about that. But no, I'm just joking. I do. I have a great coach. But for the most part, my whole it's all on the way you carry yourself too. They see that I can be a bully at times. So again, they get to see all of that, and that helps to build that respect for the female housing owner or provider.
Absolutely. And I'll agree with Shay again that it's all about the assessment, which is with the ILF Mastery Blueprint, we go really heavy over. So the assessment is something that we give you because we want you to get the right people, right? So if you're in this room and you're being taught by us and you're a female, put a number 3 in the no, put a number 7 in the chat. In fact, Joanne is usually around when I talk about this part of it. I teach everybody kind of the same in terms of what this is, right? But I'll admit, I teach the women a little bit different. So, my Kentucky friend here, if you're a female and you tell me that you don't have a boyfriend or a husband or a boo thing, I teach you a little bit different than somebody that may have a husband or a big brother or a big cousin named Jeff, right? Or a boo, right? Because again, I want you to be safe. My first goal for teaching you what this is for you to be safe. And the assessment for us means this assessment is going to allow you, Kentucky friend, to make a wise and sound decision by asking a series of questions. So, once again, our assessment is a series of questions which allows you to make a sound decision about who you bring into your ILF. And because you would be an ILF Mastery Blueprint member, that assessment can also be done by me. So if you say, well, Derek, man, you know what? I got this call from this guy named Brad, and Derek, he sound pretty good, but Derek, I ain't quite sure. If you're an ILF Mastery Blueprint member, you better call me because I want to talk to Brad. Because Brad ain't gonna fool me. I've been doing this a long time. Not to say that I don't miss it sometimes on a certain client, but most of the time I'm going to catch things that you guys are not, especially in the beginning. Now, once you get this down and you get really good at it, 8, 9 months, a year into it, you're gonna be able to read these clients, excuse me, just like me, right? It's not going to be any different. But until then, as an ILF Mastery Blueprint member, you have the right. Remember, you and I become family at this point. So I'm in your back pocket. You got my personal phone number. So if you're on the phone with a case manager, you say, ma'am, you know what? We're going to make a decision on Brad, but can I have about 15 minutes? I want to speak to the rest of my team about him. Guess who you're going to call? Me. And say, Derek, can you assess this guy, Brad, man? Because Derek, I ain't quite sure. And maybe you will catch something that I won't. No problem. Hey, Miss Janice, how's it going? I hear that we're going to possibly be bringing in Brad today. My name is Derek. I'm the program director at Kentucky Solutions. See, I'm now your boss at your place. And I want to speak to Brad just to make sure that he's going to be a good fit. And then boom, I'm going to do my assessment. My assessment is about 7 questions. I've been doing this so long that I can ask about 7 to 8 questions that's going to weed the knuckleheads out. I don't want you all to get knuckleheads. When I first started this, guys, it was a clown show. My program was a complete clown show because I didn't know what I was doing. And anybody that called my phone, I moved them in. That's dumb, y'all. You don't do that. I learned that the hard way. You do an assessment to see who's going to be a good fit. That's why when you get these ILFs, guys, it can be like a crock pot almost. Set it and forget it. Almost. And what I mean by that is this. I'm gonna give two examples. One is a crock pot, set and forget, and one is cooking in a hot skillet with a bunch of oil in it on high heat. The crock pot means that I got great clients. I did a great assessment, and I got some good people in here. They're following all the rules. I can set it and forget it. But when I bring the wrong people in, I don't do the assessment. I'm bringing people that use drugs and alcohol and trying to bring their girlfriends over and all of their friends and throw a party. That's like cooking with the hot skillet, meaning you got to stand right in front of it or you'll burn this whole house down. But with the crock pot, I can put a steak, baked potatoes, my vegetables, and walk away from it and be going for 9 hours. But with the hot skillet on high heat with the oil, I got to stand right in front of it. Or if not, I burn the whole place down. Can I get two people to say that makes sense if it does? And that's the difference of getting the right people through the assessment. You're going to have a crock pot or a hot skillet. I want a crock pot because I'm busy. I'm an entrepreneur and God gives me ideas every day that I'm trying to implement. And I can't do that if I'm babysitting grown people and if I'm running a hot skillet versus a crock pot. So again, just two people. Can somebody tell me if that makes sense? My Kentucky friend, does that make sense? That assessment is what's going to make sure you get the right people. And again, back to your original question, the men oftentimes are going to respect you more than they will me. Now, quite opposite, the women, Shay's women, they melt over me. Hey, Mr. Derek, hey, Derek. La, 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 la. But with Shay, sometimes they can get a little, and Shay like the older women. Shay like me, right? Shay loves that older crew, 70, 80, 90, 100. That 18 to 30-year-old, that's really not my cup of tea. That's not what my program is geared towards. That's not where I get the calls from. I get the calls from the old people, and I love it. Because the older person, he ain't looking for a party. He's not trying to find the next newest drug to try. He ain't looking for a girlfriend. That 22-year-old, he want a girlfriend. He want to try that next new drug that just came out. He want to hang out all night long. That guy isn't for my program. And trust me, I have some 22-year-olds, but they're the boring kind. They just chill. They go to school. They like to read. I house college kids too, y'all. I talk a lot about the elderly adult, the military veteran, but guys, I got a house with college kids in it. I got a YouTube video on a lady that opened up a house for college students. So the genres of the population goes real far. Okay, great questions too. Great questions, by the way. I think we got about 8 more minutes until we're officially closed. But I want to answer one more question that I don't see yet, but we always get it. Derek, where do we get these people from? Derek, if I get a house and I'm paying rent, how can I feel it? The social worker, the case manager, and the social service provider. I think I said it, but I'll just say it again. And if you can take time tonight and go to our social media, I want y'all to check out Forston Consultants and Second Chance Housing. Look at how much we post. Guys, I'm hard to miss on the internet. I am hard to miss. If you can't find us, you're not looking. And even in like the last 2 days, we paid money to actually boost and advertise what we do. So you go to Facebook or Meta, and I spent I think on the first ad, I think I spent $30 over 6 days. A lot of calls are coming in just from that. So sometimes, guys, you got to do paid advertising. Sometimes you got to spend some money to get the word out. But most of the time, I'm going to tell y'all social media and word of mouth. That's the biggest ways that people are going to find out who you are and what you do. So definitely visit Second Chance Housing at Facebook and Instagram. Look at what we're posting. Look at the words I'm posting. Because if you're trying to reach social workers or case managers, watch this. The post should sound like this. Are you a social worker or a case manager? Are you looking for clean, nice, affordable housing for your clients the day of discharge? Give us a call at Second Chance Housing. Shoot us a DM or call us and let us be the stepping stone to where you guys are trying to go. That's a post right there by itself. This room is recorded, so use that post. It can be typed. It can be you verbally saying it. And remember, if you're in this room for the first time and you've never heard of the HRA, every Saturday we teach you guys how to do exactly what we do, and you never have to buy a house or rent one or lease one. and you still can house the homeless and make money. It's called the HRA, Housing Referral Agency. So literally, you can remove your first and your last name, and you are now a housing referral agency. So Second Chance Housing for us is a housing referral agency. We also just happen to house people ourselves. So join us every Saturday or look at our older YouTube lives and check out how you can do that. It's also on our website at forstonconsultants.com. It's a 14-minute webinar that literally tells you and shows you how to house the homeless and the displaced, and you never need property. Hey, what's going on, family? I super hope you guys are enjoying this information. But let's just say you want more one-on-one coaching, just like what you're receiving now. You're actually looking for our ILF Mastery Blueprint. So that's our hand-holding one-on-one coaching, where that's what most of the people that come to us, that's what they want. They don't want to just watch me on YouTube all the time, right? They want me in their back pocket for one-on-one coaching. And what's super powerful about it right now, that there's a scholarship that's actually available that brings that down to only $7,500, a long ways from the normal price of the 15 grand. So even doing this live right now, if you guys text IMB below, my team can send you over some information. But nevertheless, definitely go over and see forstonconsultants.com and check us out there as well. Let's get back to the show. All right. Good stuff. And thank y'all so much for being here. We super appreciate it. You guys have a lot of choices of where you could be tonight on these social media streets, but you've chosen to be here. So I'm going to guess that you want to change the lives of other people, and you also want to change your own life. So again, guys, I want y'all to see that webinar that we shot for everybody. It's at forstonconsultants.com. And it literally gives the backstory of how all of this started. But most important, it shows you guys how you can get into it. And again, how you can take people from homeless to hopeful. And the people that we serve, guys, they receive a guaranteed income. So to answer that question from the lady that says, well, Derek, how are you housing people and they're homeless? Well, believe it or not, they get something that's called SSI or SSDI. We also house people that have jobs. So I house guys that have jobs at Walmart, Sonny's Barbecue, Burger King, McDonald's. They work for the city, the water meter guy. We house all sorts of people like that, okay? We also never got a chance to introduce Mr. Dornico. And who else is here? I see another shadow down there. And is there any other questions that I can answer for you guys at all?
It's just Dornico and Alex.
Okay, good. Dornico, are you there, big bro? I'm going to let D introduce himself if he want to. Bring him on up. Dornico's out of Dayton, Ohio. Took our coaching about 2 years ago. And Dornico's got over, I think, 3 or 4 facilities now. Dornico, welcome, big bro. How you doing today? He might be busy.
Oh, he said he'll be right back. He just
okay. No problem. No problem at all. I'll talk about for 2 seconds. I think I said it and brushed by it, but I'll talk about it again, guys, because it goes along with what I just said in terms of how do we fill the house. Those 2 case managers that wanted to come by and see my facility today, one of them saw me on social media, y'all. And then the other one, I was already, I guess, a part of their database, but she's new to this particular position. So she's never met me and she's never seen these houses. They're bringing another lady next week who literally just graduated and got her social work degree. And she wants to see something like this. And y'all know me, right? Not only did I walk them through the house, explain who we are and what we do, but I also offered to teach it to them. I said, now, y'all, I don't know y'all future goals and plans, but I used to be y'all, right? But I said, guess what? 6 months to 8 months from now, you guys can quit this job or resign it, whatever word you want to use, and be doing this full time. Y'all are already in it. So I'm going to say this for the live crew that's here now, and for people that'll see this later on. If you got a heart for people, you love God, love people, love real estate, if you're a social worker, if you're a case manager, or if you're in any kind of social service setting, or if you just say, Dirk, I like helping people and I love real estate, this is it, guys. This is a no-brainer. If you like helping people and if you like real estate, God, again, has just allowed us to join them together. So again, because of the social media and because we talk about it so much everywhere we go, we get people that are calling us saying, Derek, I saw you on Instagram. I saw you on Facebook. Tell me more. That's usually kind of how it starts. So again, guys, I'm just excited because again, this week, we got to pick a date, but there's another program, same company, Aspire Health Partners, want to meet with us again to present what we do. This person wants me to come to them. So let me see who's been listening, right? And who's been around us for a long time. If you all know me and you know that I'm going to visit a social worker and about 8 other people that'll be with the social worker, what am I going to bring him as a nice gift for saying just thank you for letting me come? And I understand there's a little lag, so I'm gonna pause for about 5 seconds. But if you know me and know our teaching, what am I bringing to this appointment when I show up to talk about how great our program is and how we can be a bridge from taking people from homeless to hopeful? Who's going to get this right? I may give away a free gift if especially if a newer person do it. What am I bringing with me? What am I bringing?
I know.
I'm gonna give it 15 more seconds.
We got
Bam,
it.
there she go. Coffee and donuts. And because it's so cold outside right now, the coffee and donuts now looks genius. Genius. Even in Florida, where I am, yesterday, guys, was 36 degrees. That's almost unbelievable.
I know Dornico's gonna laugh at us.
Now, Dornico's gonna laugh at me, right? Because he get down in the negatives and it's snow but where I live at, guys, 36 degrees is ridiculous.
That's cold for us, Dornico.
That is cold. Anything under 60 for us, I'm shaking, right? But I'm showing up with the coffee and donuts because why? Go ahead and finish that, Kentucky. Tell them why do I bring that? I'm gonna show them how you've just been around us for so long that you know this stuff.
Kentucky.
Why am I bringing around coffee and donuts when I visit? What's my phrase? Why do I bring the coffee and donuts? Why would I do that? Am I just a nice guy? Or why am I doing that? I'm gonna give her about 10 more seconds, or anybody. Why do we bring goodies when we show up? This would be a good one.
Go.
I don't see anything yet. Either she's typing a long one or I stuck her on that one. So I'm gonna give her the benefit of the doubt and say that she knows it and she probably still typing, but I'm gonna just say it. But I'm gonna give her a few more seconds because she might be typing it. The reason why I'm going to show up with coffee and donuts, because that makes me a no-brainer. My phrase is this: it's hard to forget the guy that brings the donuts.
Very hard.
It's hard to forget. She said, I forgot. I got you, sis. The reason why I bring the coffee and donuts is because 15 other people are going to show up to the same hospital asking the same stuff, saying this: hey guys, I got a new housing program. Will you refer to me? How many clients you got? Can you send me all the clients that you have? 15 other people going to show up doing that. So Miss Angela, how great does it look when I show up, 1 out of the 15, and I say, ma'am, thank you so much for having me. Mr. Jason, thank you so much for having me here today, me and my team. And thank you all for the great work that you all are doing in the community dealing with this population. On me today, coffee and donuts. It's cold outside. Make sure everybody grab 2 donuts. Now, if you're on a diet, only grab 1. Not joking to say stuff like that, right? But guys, I literally say that. Guys, coffee and donuts on me today. Thank y'all for the great work that y'all are doing in the community. Thank y'all for choosing me to come by and present before you. Thank you because I understand you guys have more options. Thank you because I might be the new guy from all the people that you've been referring to for the last 5 years. Some of y'all are just going to start this just now this week. You the new guy. Guess how the new guy stands out? By bringing coffee and donuts because nobody else is doing it. Or if you're real fancy like Tiffany, you bring the Danishes. I don't even know if I'm saying that right, but a Danish, you know, that little nasty stuff with the cream cheese stuff in the middle. I don't like Danish. I like donuts. And in fact, put in the chat, are you a donut person from Krispy Kreme, or are you more of a Danish kind of person with that funny tasting cheese in the middle?
I love Danish. I love Danish.
I'm a Krispy Kreme donut type of guy, so I'm going to type that in. Type in, what are you? Are you a Danish type of person, or are you a donut type of person? But the goal is, Shay, is I don't want to be forgotten about.
Yeah.
Watch this, because, you know, we laugh and we joke and we play, but watch this. I used to be the social worker at the hospital. Everybody begging for me to send them clients. But guess what happened to the guy that brought the Panera bread? The guy that brought the Starbucks? The guy that brought the Krispy Kreme and the Dunkin' Donuts and the coffee? We remembered him. So when we're sitting at the treatment table, Neonta saying, where we going to send these 15 clients today, y'all? Guess what? Somebody always blurted out, let's help the guy that brought the lunch today. Sometimes they don't even remember your name. Let's refer to the guy that brought the donuts. Lord have mercy. I've been sitting at treatment team tables, guys, where we made referrals to people where we didn't even remember the name, but we remember what they done for us. Hey, let's treat that girl that bought us those pens, the calendars, and that dropped off those donuts, y'all. Guys, I had the choice of who we were going to feed back in the day. Now, I never looked at it like that until like right now, but I had a choice of who I was going to put money in their pocket by sending them clients. I controlled that as the social worker. That's why I always tell people, man, there is nobody greater to learn this from other than us. Because I've been a social worker. Now I'm the guy that housing people for over 7 years now. I saw both sides of it. So again, nobody forgets the guy that brings the donuts. Nobody forgets the lady that brings the coffee. And every time I have an appointment, I say, well, how many people is it going to be? You don't show up with one coffee and just a half a dozen donuts. Oh, 9 of y'all? No problem. Now I bring 2 dozen donuts in the box of Joe. You know, when you go to Krispy Kreme or Dunkin' Donuts, they give you that big 44-ounce box. That's what I'm bringing, guys. I've done this so much, I've got the pricing down almost to a science. It's always going to be a little under $45, whether I go to Krispy Kreme or Dunkin' Donuts. My people like Krispy Kreme. Always a little under $45 when I get the coffee and the 2 the 2 half dozen. $45 for them to send me a client at $6.80 a piece. I'll do that all day long. All day long. Because remember, guys, I'm hard to forget that way. And remember, there's 15 other people that's going to call and show up to the same hospital. Why not you be different? So when I saw that at my job, I said, you know what? I got to implement that once I start my own program. I got to treat people to coffee and donuts. Yeah. Okay. So again, y'all, I think that's my time. I'm like 7 minutes over, but I never like to leave unless I got all the questions. So speak now or forever hold your peace. Any questions or any concerns? Because today, hopefully I've done my 2 goals that I always set out. Goal number 1 is to give the game away and show the opportunity of how this can work. So hopefully I've done my job of showing you how y'all can take a rental property, just like a house you see on this screen, even a mobile home. You don't have to buy it. Imagine you buying this, imagine you leasing this 4-bed, 2-bath home right here. And you take 8 people from homeless to hopeful. And in your area, depending on where you live at, you're going to probably charge somewhere between $600 to $900 per bed. And that's how this works, guys. And again, I always say this. I didn't say this, guys. We're not doing this because this is the next popular thing to do with real estate, although it kind of is. We're doing this because it's such a great need no matter where you live at. I dare you to tell me where you live at right now that you don't see homelessness. I dare you. On your daily drive to work, on your work drive from home, when you drive downtown in your city, type in the word yes if you see homelessness in your city. I told a lady today, I said, ma'am, that guy that you see at the light, at the red light holding the sign up, the guy that's underneath the bridge sleeping, I say 90% of the time, them people got income. You just don't know it.
Yeah.
She was like, really? I said, ma'am, I was a social worker and I didn't know either until I started that job. But a lot of those people, they have incomes. It's called SSI and SSDI. So again, we serve a population, guys, that receive a guaranteed income, Miss Renee. And Renee, I don't want you to run a shelter. Now, one day I will have a free shelter. I'm going to get a big old commercial building. I'm going to house people for free. I'm going to tie case management into it. I'm going to tie social work into it and a housing specialist. They'll graduate from the shelter to an independent living facility.
Ooh,
they'll graduate from there to get their own apartment.
That's good, Derek.
But for right now, Shay, we serve the guy that got a guaranteed income. He work at Sonny's Barbecue, Walmart, McDonald's. He do odd-end jobs. He's the shade tree mechanic in your city.
Not the shade tree.
Whatever it is, right? But the majority of the people that we house, they get that debit card. It's a green card, y'all. It's called Direct Express. And that's where their income comes in. And nothing stops that income, y'all. Okay? So as we gear up, Dornico, really quick, Shay, I never got a chance for you to explain your program, the name of it, and why did you decide to go nonprofit? Shay, if you can do that for me and then gear Dornico up, I'd appreciate it.
Absolutely. So, the name of my program is the Angela Denise Foundation, which is a nonprofit organization, 501(c)(3) registered and recognized here in the state of Orlando, Florida. Um, and the reason why I did go this route was because I wanted to add some extras onto my ILF. And with saying the word extras, it's more so programs. When it comes to nonprofit organizations, you are a program or an organization that is pretty much ran by your community, right? So you meet the needs of the community and the things that your community is looking for, or needs some assistance in getting, whether it's credit repair, whether it's housing, clothing, all that good stuff. So what made me choose what made me choose the 501(c)(3) was, again, being able to add the programmatic part to it. Ultimately, it's a way larger goal than what I'm talking about today, because this will spill into the ILF association, or the group of ILF family members, as we continue to grow and scale and build that out. So it won't only just be a part of the programs, won't just be a part of my housing program. It will be a part of housing programs all over that are part of the ILF community. So that's the reason why I wanted to do the nonprofit aspect. And of course, everybody knows about grants, right? Being able to obtain grant funding, to give donors, or people that want to donate and partner with the organization, the ability to recoup some of that on their taxes. So that was one of the reasons why. That was some of the reasons why I did that. And just, it made sense to me. Didn't make sense to me in the beginning to have a for profit and another for profit doing the same thing. So I wanted to be able to differentiate myself from Derek by doing a nonprofit organization, and still being able to see, how can we utilize that, to benefit our physical, organizations, what we do as a housing provider with our not our for profit, and then also how can we bridge the gap with our other ILF family members in being able to assist them as well. So that's the reason why.
I love it. I love it. So, as you guys heard me talk about earlier, I did not go nonprofit because I was afraid of it. So, Shay, I want you to speak on some of the things that I was afraid of, like building a board. What does that mean, Shay? And also meaning that I couldn't really handle the money as I
Right.
can
Yeah.
with an LLC. So with my LLC and my
Correct.
for profit, I can spend that money however I want to. I can buy whatever I want. I don't have to ask anybody. Shay, what is the difference in a nonprofit?
Oh, completely different. Oh my goodness. Huge, 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 huge difference. You'll always hear me say I'm the founder of the Angela Denise Foundation. And that's it. I just founded an organization. My community, my board runs my organization, and they have buy-in on all of the decisions that I make. Prime example, the decision that we're making to relocate our women into the new property that we're purchasing. That's a conversation. That has to come up at a board meeting. That's got to be put in the minutes. That is all a part of that. I don't have a standalone, hey, this is what we're doing, and y'all all are going to move with it or ship out, right? It doesn't work that way. Um, every decision made is done by a vote. In order to even start venturing into the nonprofit space, you've got to already have some idea of board members that you want to be a part of your board, because they're put on your documents when you file. So you have to have an idea of who you're going to have on your board. And make sure if you are thinking of going the nonprofit route, don't just choose your friends, because the board has to be active. And that was one of the decisions I made. It was just trying to create it and get it done up and running quickly. I chose people that were, friends, or people that, I know. Um, and it became a very passive board, to where all the heavy lifting ended up being on me. And that's not what it's supposed to be. The board members should have as much stock in your nonprofit as you do. If they don't, it's time to revise that board. So, like the Angela Denise Foundation this year, within the next 2 weeks, will be holding its first board meeting and having the discussion on a revision of the board. And that's literally how it goes when it comes to pay. Again, your board members have to tell you. Excuse me. Your board members have to approve. Do you take a paycheck because you're running the program? Do you, and if so, how much of that are they going to be willing to allow you to accept? They have that say so in that. Money don't, you just don't go into the Angela Denise Foundation and write yourself a check. It doesn't work like that, right?
I can.
Right. And that's the biggest difference. Like Derek can pay out himself whenever he wants, where the Angela Denise Foundation is not. That does not work like that. The minute I do something like that, Lynette's gonna call me, or my board's gonna call me and be like, "Hey, saw the financials last month. What did you take out $5,000 for? Like, what are you doing?" So a lot of that is some of the things that people don't understand or don't know is the behind the scenes of a nonprofit organization. You answer to a lot of people, although you founded it, you are the founder, you answer to a lot of people. And it's not a board that you're just, you want an active board, not a passive board. So yeah, I hope that answered your question, Derek.
Absolutely, it did, because usually we get a lot of questions about the nonprofit, and that's why we involve Lynette, the accounting piece, inside of the ILF Mastery Blueprint, because that's not my area. That's not my area of expertise, and neither am I allowed to talk to you all about accounting and keeping your books and all of that. So now, instead of me just saying, "Well, you got to do this and you got to do that," I said, "No, no, 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 no. We're just going to involve Lynette, the business maven, inside of the ILF Mastery Blueprint." So everybody that purchases that gets Lynette up to 3 to 6 months. And a lot of people actually go beyond that and continue just to hire her full time. But I got a running joke that I've never shared Lynette, Shay and I, with anybody. Shay and I are pretty selfish when it comes to Lynette.
You could say
She
that.
runs all of our businesses. She's also a spiritual covering for us. So we didn't share Lynette for a long time. But once I started to see that some people just wasn't doing the books right, or they were really confused about should they go nonprofit or how to do their quick books, I said, "Man, you know what? How can I help more?" So I begged Lynette to kind of be a part of it, so that anybody that purchases the ILF Mastery Blueprint and becomes family to us, you're now family with Lynette because she's a part of it. So I literally give you and gift you a complimentary 3 to 6 months for Lynette. She has to serve you because I paid her already, right? So lucky for you guys, I paid that tab for you. And again, that's what Lynette does. Before we switch lanes, any other questions about the nonprofit? Because again, I told you I was honest. I was scared. It cost way more. Shay, if you remember, do you remember what we paid for the nonprofit when you got yours?
I'm not even, I think it was like, it was a lot. I can't remember. It was,
Just kind
it
of
was,
throw out something if
I'm
you
gonna
remember
say,
that
okay, prime
range.
example, I'm gonna say it was close to $1,000.
Okay. Versus the LLC, which could be what?
200 max,
Exactly. So that's the difference, you all.
depending on your
Yeah.
area. Let's put it that way, because I'm actually looking at a client that we're gonna be helping do some setup, and it's looking at 3+ for her in the area that she's in. So it just depends on your area.
Okay. Yeah, I want you to talk a little bit about I think you spoke on it, but I want you to talk more so because I know that you're getting ready to make changes.
Correct.
How do and when do you know it's time to make changes to your board if you're going nonprofit? And how do you choose the proper people?
You'll know because it's taxing and tiring on the founder. You become the person that's doing, you're the board of one. Nobody's available, nobody has ideas or input, and that's not what you want when it comes to a nonprofit organization, especially when you're positioning yourself for grants. They want to see that you have an active board at any given time. Um, I can be called upon for minutes. I can be called upon for financials. All of that stuff is public knowledge. So again, it's making sure that you pull all that stuff together and you have the right people to support you so that you can provide everything that you need to maintain your 501(c)(3) designation. So that's what that is. Like, when did I decide that it's time for a new board? Now, because my ideas and what we're doing and growing into is bigger than the board that I have now. Well, some of the members on that board, some of the members don't understand the vision or the capacity of where we're trying to take the Angela Denise Foundation, and they're holding me back. So, well, not holding me back, they're holding the organization back. So the goal is, we have a 2-year cycle period for our board members, and we're at that cycle now. So it's in our bylaws that our board reconfiguration is every 2 years. I give people at least 6 months to warm up to the position of being in the board. That second 6 months is them, really getting their footing together. And that second year is that year that they really have to just go out there and show that they're a part of the Angela Denise Foundation, that they get the vision. They can also do the same things that I'm doing in the community, getting in new donors, bringing in new ideas, or even people to partner with for programs, and getting all that stuff together. So doing all that stuff as a cohesive unit. So those are the things that are required for my board members, and those are the things that will cause me to really look or reassess their ability to sit on the board for a second term.
Good stuff. Good stuff. And there's a young lady that just texted us on the, I think she saw us from somewhere else. But she sent a message and I said, hey, jump into live real quick because we're getting ready to close. I think it was Elsie. So Elsie, if you're here, put a thumbs up. I want to acknowledge you and also just do a quick.
Oh, that was on Telegram. She's on Telegram.
Yeah, not Telegram. It came through Lead Connector. So that must have came through.
In Telegram. I'm looking at it. It tells me where they're communicating from.
Really, in Telegram. So that means that she's already. No, I doubt it.
She saw a post.
Anyway, there's somebody named Elsie that just came in. Elsie, if you're in here now, go ahead and just type in the word yes or a thumbs up. Just want to shout you out real quick and also just make sure that I give an overview. Is it anybody that's newer to us that just joined us and you kind of missed a lot of what happened? I wouldn't mind doing an overview right before we close. And Elsie just saw a post on Instagram. Again, see how this works, y'all? She saw Instagram, responded to it, and it came through our system, Digital Flow Solutions, which is what we'll talk about tomorrow. So if she's here, I definitely want to shout her out really quick. If not, anybody that's new that joined us late, anybody that needs a brief overview one more time before we get out of here, I got a little bit of a treat I want to do that I've never done on the YouTube, and I want to see if it works. Let's see. You all tell me if you can hear this. I'll probably play 2 of these. I get asked a lot, what does the phone call sound like when they actually come into you? So I'm pretty good of kind of picking the ones that don't tell anybody's name or their personal information. But I love to give examples of what it sounds like when a case manager or a social worker has found us on either the internet, Facebook, Instagram, social media, or website, and what it sounds like when they call in. Would you guys want to hear 1 or 2 of those? Put a thumbs up if so. If not, I don't want to waste anybody's time. But if I get at least 2 or 3 people that want to hear what a voicemail from a social worker or case manager sounds like, or even a client themselves calling in from a hospital, give me a thumbs up or something in the chat, and I'll play 2 of those as I get ready to key up something else to close us out. So I see 1. If I get 1 more, I'll go ahead and do it. If not, I'm gonna get ready to close us out of here. Shay, did you talk about already, Shay, what you'll be discussing tomorrow or not yet? You'll do that in your closing.
I'll do it in my closing.
Okay, good stuff. All right. Ooh, I only see 1. I don't have another thumbs up just to hear a phone call real quick.
Derek, you didn't give the sound effect, so I had to give it for you.
I got it.
That was close.
All right, Renee just saved y'all. Thank you so much, Renee. I'm gonna do this real quick because I like to give an example of, because I teach a lot of when the calls come. But somebody said one day, well, Derek, what they sound like? I was like, you know what? That's genius. Let me show the people what they sound like. So I don't see no name by this one, so I'm hoping it's not giving any personal info out. If it does, I'm gonna stop it because we're live. But here we go. And if you guys can hear it, somebody immediately tell me yes when we do it, because I don't want it to play and you guys are not hearing it. So as soon as I play this, if you can hear it, somebody just type the word yes. I'm going to turn my volumes up to make sure that you guys can hear. And here we go.
Good morning. This is Ashley with Gold Key Roofing.
Oh, that's Gold Key Roofing. Hold on, y'all. I'm getting a roof done. Hold on. That's a house that we're flipping to turn into an ILF. So give me 2 seconds.
Good afternoon. This is SDA Elderly Care calling. We're calling to see if we have any rooms available and what your current rates are. If you could, give us a call back. 407-75.
So as you guys heard, that was a place that was called SDA Elderly Care. And
Good afternoon. This is SDA Elderly Care calling. We're calling to see if we have any rooms available and what your current rates are.
Notice what he said. Now, did you guys hear that? Perfect. Perfect. Thank y'all. Notice what he said. I'm calling from blah, 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 blah to see if you have any rooms available and what your rates are. Guys, if you think about when I teach you all to be an HRA every Saturday, that's what he's doing. So, guys, I'm going to say this really slow because I talk fast at times and sometimes I stutter. But this gentleman that just called my phone is calling from a company that has no property, no houses. They won't buy one. They won't rent one.
Sure won't.
All they do, Shay, is build relationships with other people like us who have the property.
What is that called?
Guys, that's called the Housing Referral Agency. Where do you think that came from? So can you imagine building a business like him where all he does is call each and every day and builds relationships and look for other people? Because when I call him back and say, yep, I got 5 beds available and I charge $680, I'm now on his list. He's going to call me every day, all day. And lucky for me, I got a virtual assistant that answers all of my calls for Second Chance Housing. Jess knows that guy really well, not me. So every time he calls, hey, Jess, how many beds you got today? He called once a week just asking that. But then he'll also call and say, hey, Derek, got a great guy. His name is Greg, being discharged tomorrow, 55 years old. His medications are this. His background is this. Derek, will you take him? Guys, that's how it goes. That's literally how that goes. Neonta just put up something that says, I'm in the ER and just met a guy from a psych facility, gave me some good leads real quick. Can we pull her up just to make sure that we understand?
You didn't just see what she just said. She's at work.
Oh, she in the ER. For y'all that don't know, Neonta's actually an ER nurse. So I wasn't sure if she meant like, hey, I'm here doing my thing, or I'm actually on the clock working. So I don't know.
She just put it there. Look, work, by the way. Not as a patient.
Now, I knew that. She said that for the rest of y'all. So, yeah, she's working. And she said something that I teach a lot of, right? So a lot of times the clients that we serve, they'll go to the emergency room and just say, hey, I want to hurt myself. Because a lot of them know that if they say that, they're going to meet a social worker that's going to assess them. And the only reason why he probably made that comment is because he's homeless and has nowhere to go. 100%. And it's 43 degrees outside.
Yeah, 100%.
So now with that social worker, like I used to be for 9 years, said, oh, come on in, Josh, tell me all about it. Josh gonna say, Derek, I'll be honest, bro, ain't nothing wrong with me. I don't want to kill nobody. I'm not gonna kill myself. Derek, I'm homeless. I don't have anywhere to go. And I know if I say that, y'all gonna house me for 3 days here. Y'all gonna feed me. Y'all gonna get me back on my medications. And then you're gonna introduce me to a social worker that's gonna look for housing. Guys, they know this already. Why not be already set up to be the receiver of this blessing? Because God has set us up to be a blessing, y'all. This is a ministry. Don't forget it. We call it a business, but / ministry. And remember, money follows ministry and money follows mastery.
Come on.
And we've mastered the art of independent living, ladies and gentlemen, in a shared living environment. So again, and Neonta just said something else that I don't know if she mean it this way, but guess what? We got another referral last week that came from a client of mine that I'm housing. Watch this. I'm housing a guy. He's so satisfied with the way we're running things. He running his mouth and telling everybody back in his groups where he go and get his psychosocial groups at the hospital. So you remember that?
My God, yeah. He telling the world.
We get a random call from all these guys telling me, hey, man, you got a guy that live there say that, man, you a good guy. And you rent rooms to people. And it's clean. Can I live there too?
Yeah.
Yes. Let me ask you a couple questions, which is that assessment. And again, normally if you housing a great guy and he refer people, he's telling great guys. Neonta, if you can still hear me in the ER with your earphones in your ear, that's another cheat code, Miss Neonta. It's finding one of your great guys who you already housing down there in Miami Gardens, and getting the advice from them. Where are all the other great guys at? You know any other good people just like you, sir? Where your other buddies at? Where they live at? I want good guys just like you, Mr. Jeff. You know anybody else need a good place to live? So from your clients you're already serving, ladies and gentlemen. Okay? I'm going to give y'all another call. Watch this.
Hi, my name is Claire, and I'm calling from case management at Rescue Outreach Mission in Sanford, Florida. I have a client here who says that he has spoken with Derek Foster and actually been admitted into your program before, and he's interested in speaking about coming back. So if you could.
Now, this happens all the time.
That's powerful.
Hi, my name is
Just hear it
Claire, and
again.
I'm calling from case management at Rescue Outreach Mission in Sanford, Florida. I have a client here who says that he has spoken with Derek Foster and
First of all, my name ain't Derek Foster. My name is Derek Forston. Let's get that straight. Second of all, this happens a lot. Sometimes where you'll be housing a guy. Dornico, I'm sure you've gotten this. And 3, 4, 8 months, a year sometime has passed, but they come back around. Most of y'all are going to find out the guys you're housing today, they're going to leave you at some point. But guess what? They're coming back. Dornico, I can't tell you how many people that I've housed over the years, and they come back after they found their own apartment, after they found that girlfriend at the mall, after they got back reunited with family and screwed up again. So a lot of your people that you're housing right now today, they're going to be what we would call repeat offenders, meaning they coming back. And most of the time, I always say this, if they leave the right way and don't break rules and they didn't cut a fool and break appliances and act up and was discharged for behavior problems, they're always welcome back to second chance housing.
Yep.
Did you notice that she was a social worker? She said where she was from. She told me who the guy she was dealing with. My job was to call her back to find out, was this guy, first of all, was he lying? Did he just hear about my place and he just want to come? Or did he actually live there? I've had clients that say, yep, I used to live in second chance housing. Give Mr. Derek a call. He hasn't. He's lying. But he heard from the unit, from the other guys, hey, man, I live in a real good place. The guy named Derek, and it's called second chance housing. Just call him and tell him that you used to live there. I get that a lot. Bro, I don't know you, James Joseph. I've never heard of you. Yeah, man, I used to live there 3 years. James, cut it out, man. Who did you meet there? Who you know that told you to call me? Yeah, man, I met Chris. Chris told me to call you, Mr. Derek. Come out now. Ended up being a really cool guy. He just thought about him saying he used to live there, that he wasn't going to talk to the guy, Derek. Yeah, you're going to talk to me, especially if Jess don't kind of feel it, right? And Jess is my program manager. So anyway, did you all hear that? And are you all getting the kind of calls that we get? And I'll admit, most of these people see us on social media, because guess what that case manager is doing while he's on lunch break in his bologna sandwich? He's scrolling through TikTok. He's scrolling through Facebook. What do y'all do on y'all lunch break? Y'all scroll through Facebook. You seeing who liked your post. Guys, that's what I do. Who liked my post about housing? I'm looking for case managers, though. I'm looking for social workers as friends. I don't need a bunch of regular friends. I want case managers. I want social workers. And guess where I'm going to find them from? All my new people. Facebook Marketplace, Craigslist, people that are listing. Like case managers, y'all, they hang out on social media. But guess who else hangs out on social media? The military veteran that's trying to find a nice place to live. The lady that's escaping domestic violence. The teenager agent from the foster care system. My favorite, the elderly adult. They're on Instagram. They're on Facebook. So when they come across second chance housing, oh my God, did this guy house people? And he's a one-stop shop. He's not going to charge me lights and water. I pay 1 fee and just live. He give me the bed, the comforter, the sheets, and the pillow. I don't have to bring nothing but my clothing. He's even going to give me a toothbrush. Yes. So guys, I become a no-brainer to social workers. I become a no-brainer to the guy that's been living in the roach-infested motel, paying $45 a night. Guys, I'm $22 a night, and I pay for the Wi-Fi, the lights on me, the water on me. My clients don't know this, but because I'm connected to my church, they also gonna get food. Ooh, I ain't even mention that. Watch this. I advertise that we do not provide food. I scream it to the mountaintops. And if you see me on YouTube right now, I'm screaming this. We do not provide food. We only provide housing. But guys, if I'm getting it for free from my church, meat, eggs, cheese, canned goods, dairy items, vegetables, chicken breast, steaks, pork chop for free, Why wouldn't I go and get it? In fact, my church had a church drive today. Cars wrapped around the building, all out in the street. Guys, I got access to that stuff for free that I can feed these people. So why wouldn't you do that if you have the opportunity to? Now, dummy me in the beginning, I was feeding these people from my pocket. That was dumb. I didn't know what I was doing. But we've learned later in life of how you can leverage your church and how you can leverage your community. And for my people on Clubhouse who's here, I hope you guys join us on YouTube. We're live on YouTube. But again, guys, this is how we do this. And again, guys, it's not rocket science. What I just told y'all is called it's called under deliver, over promise. Is that right? Under promise, over deliver. Thank you, Shay, because I was about to screw that whole saying up. Literally what that is, guys, by me screaming, I do not provide food. That's me doing what, Shay?
Under promising.
But when I show up, or the driver from the church shows up with boxes and boxes and boxes of food, what am I doing, Shay?
Over deliver.
Lord have mercy. And what do I look like as I'm doing it? A saint and an angel in my city. So we teach you guys all kind of ways to do this, but watch this. I only want y'all providing housing. That's it. I'm going to teach you how to add the little things later, like a clothing closet. Guys, I started a clothing closet for the homeless from my closet. All them t-shirts I got that I can't fit no more, that are dingy and dirty, put them in a drawer, hang them up on a hanger. All the pants I can't fit anymore because I lost all of this weight now. All of them older shoes that I don't wear, that's where my clothing closet came from, guys. Guess where my food pantry came from? All those canned goods that Shay bought a year ago when she thought the hurricane was going to come. We don't eat that stuff. So guess who I'm taking that to? The food pantry that I started for myself. So once I got into this, guy, they said, man, that guy Derek is a dadgum genius. He's a saint and an angel. Guys, I like to think I am, but to be honest with y'all, guys, I'm really not. Watch this. All I did was take clothes that I wasn't wearing that somebody else can benefit from. All we did was take food that was non-perishable and start a food pantry that can benefit somebody else. God, that's all we've done. And through the goodness of God, we started teaching it. So now instead of it just being one me in one house, through the teaching of it, we're in 29 different states, over 290 ILFs. To all the people that we're teaching. Okay? So thank y'all so much for allowing me to go over. Thank y'all for allowing me to play those voicemails. I got one more voicemail and then we getting out of here. This is a good buddy of mine that used to work at a certain facility, but as soon as he changed, and listen to where he's working at. When you guys hear where he's working at, just to make sure y'all listening, I want 5 people to type it in the chat because this is a place that hasn't been mentioned yet. Okay? So here it is. And when y'all hear where he's calling from, I want 5 people to type it into the chat. As I'm getting notifications right now for twin mattresses and some other things that I found on Facebook Marketplace, they coming through right now. But anyway, listen to this message and somebody type in where this guy's calling from.
Hey, Derek, this is Alex, your old buddy over here. Just want to get in touch with you. I'm working over at Osceola Corrections now, and I have an inmate who I think would be a good fit at one of your facilities. If you can, try to reach back out to me at, let me give you my email address at
I'm going to play that one more time, and I want somebody to type in the chat. Where is he calling me from?
Hey, Derek, this is Alex, your old buddy over here. Just want to get in touch with you. I'm working over at Osceola Corrections now, and I have an inmate who I think would be a good fit at one of your facilities. If you can, try to reach back out to me at, let me give you my email address at alejandro.cirillo, ALEJANDRO.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. So again, Osceola Corrections. So again, I didn't mean to play his whole thing, right? That just kind of got lost in it. But if you guys can hear what he said, again, we get this question all the time. Derek, what about the people from prison or the jail system? And just so that you know, there's a difference between jail and prison, right? But we work with them both. I've taken people from the prison system and I've taken people from the jail system. I'm going to give you a gem. There's a program called Operation New Hope. They work with people that are getting ready to leave the jail system, or I call it graduate. But when they leave the jail system, they don't have a job, they don't have no income and nowhere to live. They're looking for people just like us, right? to house these folks, and they pay for it. So sometimes when I'm giving these lectures, I'll throw out a term that's called mailbox money. That's literally what that is, guys. Not being disrespectful or funny, but that's how we get paid. It comes in the mailbox or it comes in my bank account. Nobody's per se bringing me money, or the client himself, the guy that's coming from the jail system, he don't have a job. He don't have a means to pay me. But while that company is paying me up to 6 months, they're working on getting him a job, getting him approved for SSI or SSDI. So I hope you guys really, really understood these phone calls. See what Dornico put.
That's why I'm laughing.
He put my mailbox really loves me. And that's again an example from somebody that's implementing a lot of what we're teaching you all. And he's seeing both sides of it. Dornico is doing what I told him he would years ago. I said, Dornico, you're gonna get to a point, bro, where you're gonna always kind of have money. He said, what do you mean? I said, well, sometimes you're gonna house people that have a job, they get paid every week. That means you get paid every week. Sometimes you're gonna house people that have no money themselves, but the program is going to pay you. Then you're going to be getting money from the people that actually have the SSI, SSDI. So you're going to have all kind of mixes of people that you're going to be able to house. And now he's living that. He just typed it. Dornico, unmute your mic, big bro, if you're there. Tell the people who you are, what area you're in, and just kind of talk about, again, that mailbox money. What does that mean for you?
How y'all doing? Hopefully y'all can hear me. I've been all over the place, but yeah, we just have to do all of the little stuff to get to that autopilot. And if you build those relationships with those entities and that level of trust is there, you don't even have to worry about it. You can go ahead and move the individual in, and then that money is going to come in the mail. I do have situations where they call for me to pick it up, and then other times it just comes in the mail. So that's how that works. But yeah, I wanted to touch on something about the nonprofit for-profit situation. Even though I'm for-profit, sometimes my verbiage is that of nonprofit because that helps. So sometimes you can borrow their verbiage as leverage for how you conduct business in a for-profit situation.
Good stuff. Hey, what's going on, family? I hope you guys are enjoying the content, but I just want to let you know there's still time to apply for the scholarship for the ILF Mastery Blueprint, and that's our one-on-one coaching. So there's a lot that comes with it. So I'm just going to guide you guys to the website so that you can kind of check it out for yourself after we're done here. So you're going to visit forstonconsultants.com. Then you're going to click the tab that says products and services. The first thing that's going to pop up is the ILF Mastery Blueprint. Click that tab that says learn more, and it's literally going to give you step-by-step instruction of what you can do. And it's real easy of how you can apply and win the scholarship to apply to the price so that you can get our one-on-one coaching here at Forston Consultants. Let's get back to the content. All right, good stuff. So again, man, thank y'all so much. I super appreciate it. As I said, Dornico is a big part of what we do as well. He's somebody that's taken the coaching over the years, and now he's family. And that's how that coaching works, right? So when you guys do become family with us, and a part of that coaching, that's kind of how it is, right? Dornico can just pick up the phone anytime and call me if he wants to. He's got my personal number. But then you'll find out the longer you're in this and the longer you're around us, because I always jokingly tell people when Dornico first started, Dornico called me every day for the first probably 90 days. Probably, and then it kind of twinkled down to like that 4 months where it was like kind of every now and again. Now, me and Dornico don't talk about this as much in terms of the training and the coaching. We're on other businesses together. He likes wholesaling. I like wholesaling. He's going to be helping me. I'm going to help him. So we do other things together now. And only time we talk now is when he's scaling and getting another ILF to continue to fill it. So after a while, what a lot of people learn is that they don't need the coaching anymore per se. They just need the relationship. Now, I'll cry like a baby if Dornico just up and leaves us, right? Because regardless of him not needing the teaching, the relationship with Dornico now is on another level. We're family. I consider him my brother, and anything he got in terms of coming to us in terms of business, marriage, we got him. So even though we talk a lot on this app in terms of just teaching people how to house folks, we also do business coaching. If you're married, me and Shay will pour into you that way. So we love talking to the married people, married couples that like to start businesses. So things like that, like he just typed it, Brothers for Life. And just to give you an example of that, like I had a surprise birthday party last year. Guess who my people, my wife, my family flew in? Guess who surprised me for that party? Dornico. Like, almost made me cry. Like I was stuttering and everything. Like, I said, man, y'all brought Dornico? And again, guys, Dornico is in Dayton, Ohio. I'm in Orlando, Florida. For somebody to get on a plane and take the time out of their schedule and their life to come share a life event with me, that's why we call y'all family. Regular people don't do that, right? So again, Dornico, I appreciate you, big bro. Thank you for always being around us, and just thank you for all of the people that are here. Thank you to everybody that joined us tonight. I hope that I made my major goals, which again was teach y'all the game in terms of how to do this, and hopefully I also gave y'all an opportunity by telling you that the scholarship is still available. All you got to do is go to forstonconsultants.com, click that tab that says products and services. And again, the first thing that'll pop up is the ILF Mastery Blueprint. When you click that tab that says learn more, it'll tell you all the things that are involved in that product, but it'll also show you how the price is slashed in half. So it goes from 15 grand to 7,500. We also have financing. So if you want financing, you also can text the word financing to 407-326-0086. Again, if you want financing, just type the word financing. That's in-house or third party. You can text the word financing to 407-326-0086. So that's it for me, ladies and gentlemen. I thank y'all so much. We'll see y'all back in this room tomorrow, because as I told y'all, right, every Tuesday we talk about virtual assistants and what they can do for your team, your business, and your life. So we use virtual assistants with just about everything that we do, including my housing program. So I told y'all, God and I built Second Chance Housing many years ago, but 11 months ago, I turned that whole program over to a virtual assistant that lives in the Philippines. So Jess lives 9,000 miles away from me, ladies and gentlemen, but she answers all the phone calls, all the social media, the building the relationships in the community, setting up appointments for me to bring people coffee and donuts to talk about our program. Jess does all of that, which allows me to be the hero in terms of what I'm doing in the community. So we want you all to do the exact same. And again, I hope y'all enjoyed it. I'm gonna put this last screen up right here. That's our phone number. That's also an email that you guys could text or email if you needed anything. There's the QR code for the webinars. That's the only requirement to actually get on the phone with us. Literally watch that webinar, and let's get on the phone together to find out how can we get you started. We have multitudes of products. So if that ILF Mastery Blueprint is not for you at the moment, let's still have a call, because we got multiple ways for you to still be able to get into it. And with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I'm out of here. And yes, there's a replay. Everything that we do is recorded. I definitely implore you to watch last Monday's room, watch this Monday's room, and definitely watch the webinar that's at forstonconsultants.com. That'll tie everything together in terms of what this is. Remember, if you just joined us, we show people how to go and take a house, a regular 4-bed, 2-bath home, or a 3-bed, 2-bath. It could be a 1-bed, 1-bath. Then we teach you how to make connections and relationships with social workers, case managers, and you're advertising to get the word out to get the word out to the world about what you do. And that's how you fill the place, right? This does not require a license. You don't have to be a nurse, and you don't have to own the property. Guys, I used to be a poor social worker making 28 grand a year, begging God, how could I make 28 grand a month? And he did it through this shared housing model. So I thank y'all so much. I'm going to pray over each and every one of y'all before we go. I'm going to let y'all go, and then we'll see y'all back tomorrow here. Same time, same place, 6 p.m. If you have any follow-up questions, bring them tomorrow. But again, tomorrow will be all about virtual assistants and digitalflowsolutions.net. Father God, thank you so much for the seed that was sown tonight. Thank you for the ability to give what you so graciously just given me, God. Father God, tonight I ask that you open up every door of opportunity for these people. Father God, I also ask that you close every door that you don't want us to be involved in. Father God, these are your people, and in your word, it says that the poor will always be among us. So God, help us today get real estate, whether that's to buy it, rent it, or lease it. Father God, open every door opportunity for that to happen. And God, before these nice people ever get their first keys to their house, I dedicate their program to you now. Thank you for allowing them to be the overseers over it, But God, we thank you that you are the true CEO of their company. And we give you all the glory, all the honor, and all the praise. And Father God, if there's anybody that's among me that is ailing in any way and they need healing, I pray healing and total restoration over your mind, your body, and your soul. Because God, I said it last week and I'll say it again today. If we don't have the mind of Christ and an able body, we're almost useless to the kingdom. So God, heal us from the top of our heads to the soles of our feet and give us the mind of Christ to be able to do your work in your will through real estate. Because God, again, we want to please God. We want to please you, God. We want to help people. We want to be respected by our community. And God, we want to make a bunch of money doing it so that we can build the kingdom of God. Because you said if we build the kingdom, you will add all of these things to us. So now unto him that is able to do exceedingly abundantly above all we can ever ask or think, according to the power